Good morning, people. It is Tuesday, the 25th of March. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. I am one of your hosts for today, my own royalty.
And they call me man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer and news analyst, melanin jam-packed.
Your mic is giving jam-packed, packed. And of course, Brent is here.
Morning. I saw a tweet of yours that went super viral.
Do you know what's so funny about that? When I tweet something, so I hate getting notifications. Like all my notifications for all my apps are off, except messages, except WhatsApp and iMessage, right? But when I tweet something, no lie, yeah, if one person retweets it, I just turn it off because it irritates me. It's just like it just said, because I feel like I just tweet things that I'm thinking. And then, so that one, I actually didn't even know until, how did I know? I don't even remember how I knew. I think someone replied to it in my DMs or something. So I was like, so I clicked on it. And I was like, oh, okay. Then I saw some cheeky sod in the comments, try to be cheeky, talk about, So basically it was a let me give people context. Let me even find it. It was a tweet about Paula Patton. So Paula Patton used to be married to, what's his name? What's that guy's name? Robin Thicke.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically someone posted these pictures. At first, I didn't even know Robin Thicke looked like this. You see him? Long hair. It's crazy. A little nerd he does. So anyway, someone tweeted that saying, what a time. Then I quote tweeted saying, I'll always love the self-respect she has. This man pleaded and begged after cheating on her, even dedicated a whole album to pleading and insisted on business. And I said, I wish this for more women because I do. But anyway, so that was that. And then, so people are retweeting it. But some guy in the comments was like, anyway, let me move across God's creations because, okay. He was like, single women love. What did he say? He said something like single women love. What did he say? Sorry, guys, I've got to get exactly what he said because the cheek and audacity, respectfully, making such a comment looking like that. He says single women love to keep women single. Then I said to him, she's not single, and neither am I, you sad clown. He looks like a clown. He looks like an actual sad clown. Then this nerd tried to be like, I was just Jake. I said, please, I don't care. But yeah, big up the women that don't stay with men that cheat on them. Yes, so that's how what day was it yesterday? Monday. My Monday was going.
Apparently you have some updates for us, Emmanuel, about Dr. Umar.
Dr. Umar?
Well, you want to do that now?
You might as well. You went on the road.
Yeah,
I don't even. Now you've said it to keep the people waiting.
Well, like the video, guys.
Juicy. Trust me, like the video.
To be fair, I do have 3 clips that I did want to show in the intro, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about Dr. Umar and what's the thing called? What are then? Are they related to Dr. Umar?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
So they're all...
You just have a lot to bring today, don't you?
Man. To be fair, all of these clips here, they are topic of the day worthy.
Okay.
But obviously, I just wanted to show it to the people.
Okay,
if you guys are interested, we can go into it on a different day and stuff.
Take a vote.
Just to get, exactly. Just to get people's reactions and stuff in the room and in the chat, man.
Okay.
But, Ben, you want to do a roll call or do you want to go straight into it?
Let me do the roll call. So there is routine and parliamentary procedure upheld. Good morning, Energy, Crud Crew. Energy, I think I want you to come into the studio one day. I want to see you.
Big up Energy.
Yeah, man. Proper supporting the community, man. I like when there's people, take up initiatives and whatnot. Yeah. That's why I started liking Gin and Gist in the first place. Obviously, she had her platform.
The first place is funny.
In the first place, yeah. Oh, that's a suggestion that something else. Yeah. So I thought Gin and Gist, isn't it?
Big up Gin and Gist.
Big up the man them. So
carry on. I have to piggyback off when you're done, by the way, but carry on.
Is that what your girls do?
Well, piggyback.
Because y'all say brav to each other as well, innit?
I've never said the word like that.
People, not you and your people.
I don't think women say the way you just said. That's a different accent.
Brav.
What's
up, brav?
Women definitely don't talk about that.
Brav.
I drop a bro.
Whoa.
I drop a bro to anybody.
I thought I was making up for a second.
Nah, bruv, you're definitely making out.
What's up, bruv? Well, I finished Adolescence.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I finished
Okay,
it.
to wear tomorrow night.
Really early in the morning, like this morning.
I'm here for it. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say what you said what you had to say about energy, right? Angela.
Yeah, I want energy to come in because I wanna champion him, and I want the people them to be seeing who's putting in the work behind the scenes and that.
Love that.
I also want the bloody researchers to come in as well, innit?
That would be nice.
I also want to go to lunch with them.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Yeah, I have to find time first.
Yeah.
So God willing, in the summer.
Amen.
Yeah, I want to do it before we actually do live show, because if I say, well, I invited you to live show, it's not really.
It's
an
not
effort,
that's
is it?
yeah.
It's
Everybody
not
gets
an
invited to live shows. Friends, enemy, foes, woes.
But it will have to be when it is my bank account is enough to cover the meal for everybody.
Yeah.
I can't have them invite them and it. Hey,
Calm down. That's an interesting thing. So, big up Shay Classic. He was on 90s Baby. Of course, big up 90s Baby, right? And it's so funny because before they had this conversation, I had this conversation separately, and I was taken aback. So in Nigeria, right? To be fair, when I came here, like if it's my birthday, I'd pay for my friends. Like it's a normal thing because it's like you're the one you're the host basically, yeah. But as I grew older and met friends from other cultures, my friends were from other cultures, but they would pay as well. It was just a thing we did in that group. But as I met people from different groups, walks of life, it didn't become a thing. So it was just like, okay, fair enough. Like today, what we do when we go out is the birthday person never pays for their meal kind of thing. So that's fine, that's fair. But in Nigeria, it doesn't matter what birthday is, you're always paying. Yeah. So then I was like, I can't be in a poor financial place and just want to celebrate my birthday. I'm not allowed. Why am I not allowed? Because I've got to pay for people. And I can't understand that. Because they were like, it's basically saying, if that's going to happen, you have to let them know. Yeah. Before, but then it's weird. So just don't have a birthday kind of thing.
I think maybe the etiquette with celebrating your birthday at home kind of spilled out into the wider society.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
because
it did.
If you're having a birthday at home, there's no way you're telling.
Exactly, you're not telling everybody. Yeah, exactly. 100%. I find that weird here when people say, when they're having something at home and they're like, bring a bottle or bring a this. I'm like...
But that's a bit different with the bottle.
No, man, no. Because whenever I would have anything, I never ask anyone to bring a bottle.
Just in case, innit? Because you're going to definitely have...
Brent, they ain't saying just in case.
Oh, so there's
Brent,
no...
that is... Your Malibu is part of the menu. It ain't just in case.
But don't you provide beverage anyway as a staple? Or is it just government juice that you give to them?
If I throw something?
Yeah.
I provide champagne, Prosecco, cocktails, rum, all the spirits, like wherever, because people have different needs. Yeah. So I would never throw a party if, in my mind, the other day I was with my sister, I can't remember what I said to her, and I was like, oh yeah, my birthday. She's like, oh, are you still going to have the party? I said, when did I say I was going to have a party? She said, yeah, you said you wanted to have a party, you wanted to go on holiday. I said, I tell you as a matter of fact, that party's off the table. I ain't got the finances for it. Because in my mind, if I'm throwing a party, I'm catering to every single need. There'll be vegan food for you, man. Do you get what I mean? Like there'll be all of that will be met. So I think, yeah, you're right. I think that has because that's how Nigerians are with their parties anyway. Like with the Nigerians' worst fear. I'm sure all Nigerians, but I can't speak to all Nigerians in it. But I know that with Yorubas, it's the worst thing that could happen. The groom could not show up to the wedding. That's fine. The worst thing that could happen is to run out of food. Yeah. That is the absolute worst. They couldn't imagine anything worse in life than running out of food. So they have like way too much food, and it's better for people to take it away and wherever else than to ever run out of food.
That's the same culture in Trinidad, by the way.
So they must have, so that must have spilled, because I don't understand how, because I was even like a surprise birthday party. So hear this, if I wanted to throw Brent a surprise birthday party, I'm footing the bill.
To be fair,
unless
that makes sense.
What?
That makes sense.
How can it make sense?
Because you're
when Emmanuel's there, Stephen's there, Moses there. So what are we talking about?
So it's not a solo founder; it's a co-founder thing. But then you,
so basically, I have to let them know it's a co-founder thing.
Yeah. Then you have
for everybody to bring their wallets. Otherwise, people just show up. Yes, because 100%. You, as the planner, is paying for it.
100%.
Y'all are hand fights.
100%.
Everyone will wash plates. Are you all right?
Just imagine somebody's volunteered my time and finances for something like that.
Do you love Brent or not?
No, No way.
Sorry. I've never gone to a surprise thing and expected the person that
this
the planner.
was your idea.
What? That's crazy. That must be a men thing. Women would never do that. Women don't do that. How can I plan a birthday surprise and then we all expect me to pay?
Wait.
Because then I would just take Brent out on my own.
Do you?
What do you
Do you?
What the hell?
Do you tell them? Do you give them a heads up that there is a obligation? Do you tell them you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing? Is there project management involved in this, or just I'll drop the note and come the day I'm expecting like minds to be red.
So this is crazy.
Oh wow,
it's very crazy. Like it's so funny because I guess this is one of the examples of how men and women's brains work. Because I promise you, my brain is not computing what you're saying. I'm hearing it. It's not computing. It's not even trying to compute.
So do you wait patiently for the girlies to say or volunteer? I'm gonna do this, babes. I'm gonna do this, babes.
The only way that happens, the only way it's like a project management thing is if it's like, say it's at my home or someone's home or whatever, then that's it because we all come together.
Yeah.
But if I'm like, I want to throw, this is my sister-in-law Stephanie, I want to throw Stephanie a surprise birthday and this is the restaurant, this is the time, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, in our group, people are like, oh, what can anyone, like, we want to buy the cake, we want to do this, so if you want to add money, blah, blah, blah. But that's like to do with the cake for Stephanie.
Yeah.
That's not to do with your meal as an attendee.
Oh, the restaurant's a bit different. I thought it was like a home shindig thing.
No. Home shindig makes sense. Oh, no.
It's kind of obvious because it's just who's...
Oh, no, I'm talking about...
pick on menu.
But I'm talking about Nigerians with restaurants. Not home things. So home thing makes sense because I'm the planner, blah, blah, blah. If I need help, I'll ask for help. Yeah. But with restaurants, if I plan like a surprise dinner for Brent at a restaurant, people are rolling up because I, the planner, have figured out the bill. Yeah. I think that's crazy. I think that's wild.
I understand that part. If you've told me a planned surprise party for the celebrant and there's, I guess, balloons.
No, but that's the thing. It's different. They're not party, Brent. Dinner. Because party makes sense.
If it's a dinner, I think I would expect to pay part of his meal.
Yeah. Just his or yours as well?
Yeah, I'm paying for my meal as well.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, that they're not thinking they're paying their meal, Brent.
Wait, they're thinking they're coming just to eat?
Yes!
No.
It's like, they're coming like, it's like,
no.
You as the planner, like, you basically called us to come and celebrate.
No.
And so we're just coming empty-handed to celebrate.
No.
Not for dinner, though.
No.
Yeah.
That's insane.
This is why I was shocked.
No. They need to relax.
He said no. 100%. This is why, because I kept going over this and I said, no. Not a house party, not a gathering, not I've hired just the back of the restaurant and I'm bringing my own catering. So this is like, everyone looks in the menu. I'm like, yeah. But it's because like in that they all do it for each other. So someone's, like my birthday will come around at some point. No. If I ever move there, I'm changing the game. Hell no.
It's like a partner.
What?
A partner.
Like a pyramid scheme. Yes, that's what it is.
when each of yours
put money in a pot, and then someone collects it at one point. Yeah, it's a pyramid scheme. It is. My damn birthday.
That is the first form of community banking, man. That was
my birthday is in August.
A good initiative.
Chances are half the group that came that I went for theirs are gonna be on holiday when it's mine. Hell no, you won't sponsor me that amount. It's crazy, but it's interesting like how different cultures do different things everywhere. It's wild. But yeah.
All right, let me finish the roll call. Good morning, everybody. Woo!
Finished.
What do you want me to play, Emmanuel?
All right, so we've got wholesome, somewhat lighthearted,
nice,
and the opposite of lighthearted. So,
okay,
which one first?
Let's do in the order that you intended because you could have selected the order for us, but you chose not to.
You know what? Let's go with the opposite of lighthearted first.
Okay,
let's go with
problematic one.
Yeah.
At 8 o'clock in the morning. Great.
You wish it was 8 o'clock.
We don't, they do.
All right.
To Jamaica, Andrew Holness shares a conversation he had with another black man in Jamaica who had a conversation with one of the assistant managers of a Chinese wholesale club in Jamaica. And that young Chinese man said that Black people are the most stupidest people to ever walk the planet. And he's going to explain why. Take a look at this.
The Chinese manager said to him that Black people are the stupidest set of people that has ever walk the face of the earth. The Chinese said to him that there's no other race in the world more stupider than black people, and that's why black people is to the bottom of every economic ladder in the world, and they will never rise up. He told him, he said,
Echo, Brent.
this is a black country, and in this black country, a Chinese or any other ethnicity, any other race of people, whether it's Indian, Chinese, Arabs, and he went on, said, and they can come into a black country and they can set up a business next to a black person in a black country, and with the help of the black people, they will put the black man out of business in a matter of weeks. When he highlighted the fact that black people are stupid, I was in awe. But when he explained that to me, I must agree. For another ethnicity to come to our land and tell us that we are the stupidest set of people that has ever walked the face of the earth, we would argue and get angry, but it's a fact. Because you can set up a store no matter what your prices are. Once the Chinese are selling next to you, the Chinese will shop with the Chinese. If you set up a business, the same thing applies to the Indian. Indians will first shop with Indians. Europeans will shop with Europeans. Black people are the only race of people who will spend their money with another race of people who don't like them or who don't care about them. So I must agree with the young Chinese man. We are, so far in that situation, the stupidest set of people that has ever walked the face of the earth.
So the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, shares a conversation he had with another.
Yeah. What's your thoughts, man? That's the Prime Minister, of Jamaica saying this.
Question.
Yes.
The quote-unquote Chinese people or the Indian people who have the shops, in the shops, do they offer the quality along with the efficient pricing?
What? Are you trying to establish a control?
No. I'm asking you if, because he said that the Chinese people go in and shop with the Chinese man shop.
Yeah.
Is it poor quality they're going to purchase?
I don't think so.
So
I think in his example, he's basically just saying it's the same product, but there's just something in other people that always want to go and shop with their own. You know what I mean? But for us, for some reason, we might feel like, I don't know, there's better quality in another store. You know what I mean?
Same product.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
I'm trying to. Can you think of reasons as to why black people won't patronize black shops? Give me some reasons that you've come across in your lifetime.
Customer service.
You can jump into Esther, because obviously we could talk about hair as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
and take away, kind of stuff.
Typically, because like if a black hair shop is no, it's not a black hair shop. So a black shop is going to an industry that's been saturated by, like, say, another race, for example, right? The prices tend to be higher for that black shop for whatever reason, because of the relationships that other people have with manufacturers, blah blah blah. So I think that's one of the things that could deter.
Okay, pricing. Okay.
Yeah, it's the pricing.
Okay, other than that, personal experiences of you thinking twice about going back to that particular black shop that you just made a concerted effort to patronize.
Oh, mine will only ever be customer service.
Okay. How about you, Manuel?
Oh, price. Yeah.
Not quality?
There's that too.
I'm trying to think of something I've got from a black store that's less quality, though. I can't think of anything.
Well, maybe you didn't purchase it because it was less quality.
But I can't think
I
of
can only think of that, like, I feel like the only things I wouldn't go to this black shop, but go to another one is like food.
Okay.
So, do you know what I mean? There was some nice, some Caribbean shops I'm talking about. It was really, really nice. Regretted it. And I hated that I cheated on my original lady. Never got a sale from there again.
Let me run through a couple of examples.
Okay.
Let's just say you're renovating your house.
Okay.
Right? And you want to basically give the black man or black woman money. Let's say for plumbing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right. And you've hired this black man or black woman, and they've given you a poor service. Whether it is they've come late, they've taken long, they've charged plenty, and the attitude stinks.
You just reminded me of someone, sorry. Yeah.
Would you, again, go back and do the same thing, or would you be scared?
Scared.
It's a bit of both for me, I'll be honest with you. So I do give, because I've given, there's an Asian shop near near my parents' house, that I go to. I've been going there for years, innit? And when I first went there, the quality, I believe, was higher than it is right now. But the quality of what it is right now is still of a high standard. But I did notice that there was, I don't know, the curries didn't seem as thick as it once was, but the prices are going up. Do you know what I'm saying? But overall, the experience, how I'm treated and whatnot, is still of a good quality. Just so I don't forget what came to my mind that time when I just exclaimed. Basically, near one of my 15 jobs, I went basically to this particular place, this Jamaican shop, Let me just say Caribbean shop, but he's Jamaican. And I found him first on Uber Eats, innit? So I've seen a discount, thinking, okay, cool. He's got something called a vegan something, right? Seen it's knocked off like 25%, 30%. But I'm going to go walk there to collect it. Yeah. I've got time. So I do that, And when I get there, I've done it like maybe 2 or 3 times. He says to me, you know what? Uber takes a big chunk of my thing.
Commission, yeah.
So you know what? If you don't mind, take my number. Whenever you want, just tell me direct and I'll come. I said, beautiful. I'll give you more peas. I love it.
Man,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I've done now. So the first couple of times, he just hasn't been in the shop. He's starting late, starting 3 o'clock. I don't know why, but that's where he's doing.
What time was he supposed to start?
I mean, you go to other Caribbean shops.
We are supposed to start at 8, and we don't start at 8 all the time, right? So I need to know how long.
You find a way to bring this into every
conversation. To know that we're not speaking absent awareness.
Of course, but we're not selling oxtail in here. Gosh, golly.
God.
So now I've gone there. Eventually, I've got there now, and he's about to charge me now, and he puts up like £17. So bear in mind, I'm paying. I really want to check and just tell you how much it is, but it's like it's about £11-12. He's now put the card reader.
I knew damn well this was going.
He's put the card reader, and I'm seeing £17. I'm about to. I said, hey,
wait.
Whoa, buddy.
You know what I mean?
Wait. Are you telling me that he's charged you £11 above what the food is?
No, it's £11 via Uber Eats. Because of the discount.
In his store, kind out the middleman.
Thank you. 17 quid. I should still pay you what Uber Eats would charge. Because I don't need to come here.
Yeah.
I could just do it through the app.
I'll be real with you. I don't chase discounts, but you should have gone an in-person discount for literally keeping your word and saying, I will cut the middleman out. I will come here. He said all the commission that Uber Eats had taken from him, all those orders you'd made, he's going to get back in with one purchase.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
And you're
so before
the guy who's gonna do it too.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? How many vegan people come there? You know what I'm saying?
And that's why. It's now a booming market.
It's insane. So I've gone there almost, but obviously my hand is very economical. Yeah. So it just it stopped. So I said, hey, what's this?
Why £17?
He said, oh yeah, this. I said, no. Remember? You're meant to charge me what Uber Eats charged me. And you don't
get charged by Uber Eats.
You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, I could be paying for all of this right now. 11 quid. You know what I'm saying?
And I've got Uber once.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Wait, so...
You get what I'm saying?
It's hilarious.
Wait, so you do get affected when it is that the price is different than what it is that you're paying and stuff?
Oh, you're so annoying.
Nah, you sound very passionate right now. How about this?
I was in the situation Brent took was so annoying.
Sorry, continue the story.
You know Brent?
In the situation Brent's talking about, I just had a more diplomatic approach.
Really?
But
Really?
I will say Brent was 100% right. I just know the person before.
Was it £17?
It was what?
Was it £17? Was the discrepancy £17? And this is what you did. Hey.
Great reflex.
This guy.
Nah, it's good that you pulled him up, man. So what did he say afterwards?
What did he say? Please.
He said, all right, sorry. How much?
Sorry.
He said, how much is it? And then I said, it's about £12-13. So he's adjusted it, yeah? And this is what hurt me.
£13.
This is what hurt me. So he said, okay, cool, right? I didn't check. As soon
he left it.
He charged me, I think it was 15, something like that. So I've gone away. As soon as you type, you get the notification. Yeah. So I've taken my food, thank you, and I've gone. And I've seen how much he charged me, and I was heartbroken. And I thought to myself,
that's sad, man. Because now
You
I
know what I
liked you,
mean?
but now I can't come back
I've
here.
never been back since.
Yeah, now I can't come back here.
You know what I mean?
You didn't voice.
No, because I'd left, Brent. You know what I'm saying? I'd left.
I would go back.
No, I didn't have time like that, innit? Because every time I
I'll
go
go
there,
back
to
another
be
day.
fair,
I mean, even if I
I
went,
would need to let him know.
no, but even if I'm like that. Even if I did have time, I wouldn't have gone back. I'm just like, okay, I will never come back here again.
I understand both of your stances, but I would definitely, because I don't like to be manipulated.
I wish I was
Yeah.
like you though. That's the kind of mindset I want to have.
Yeah, I will go out of my way to
To let you know I'm
Yeah,
disappointed
yeah,
in what you did.
100%. You're right.
I wish I did
Tell him.
because it should know that because
Yeah.
that's how you lose support.
this is
When your
it.
shop is closing down now, no one's contributing to GoFundMe. You're acting confused because you robbed the community, you mug.
It's a damn
Well, no,
shame,
man,
man.
but-
Yeah.
Was he your fellow countryman?
Who, me? No, he's a Jamaican.
Why is your mouth drop? You look at you're a punk. Do you know you're a punk? You were so happy. Yeah, you wanted to be Nigerian. You wanted to be
I thought I
Nigerian.
said it though. I said the Caribbean shop.
Oh, he had selective hearing. You should his face when you said he was Jamaican. He was like,
Serious?
he
Oh,
wanted
Brent, I'm
because you know
telling
what though, his face was lighter when he thought it was gonna be Nigerian. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I was hurt,
That's
man.
sad though. That's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my original point was I do believe that we give chances and we would go above and beyond if the service, the product and whatnot was to a certain level. But we let ourselves down a lot by how it is that we treat our own. But because if a white man comes in there in that same shop, he's treating that white man completely different, you know?
And that's why I don't like. I don't like when I visibly see that, like someone of another race is being treated to someone of your own race that comes in. I think you should just treat everybody equal. If you're gonna be friendly to everybody, be friendly to everybody. But I've had situations where I've seen the visible difference in how you're treating people, and that's just because I'm black like you, and you just think that I don't require good customer service kind of thing.
Yeah, I get you.
And you feel like you're doing me a favor. Yeah, I really don't. I hate stuff like that.
Do you know what it is? Sometimes I chalk that down to just maybe them being of the same culture, same religion, so they kind of relate in a different way.
My thing is though, you don't know me. Like, don't be familiar. I don't like when people get too familiar too quickly. Like, you don't know me. You don't know anything about me. And in the same way, you also don't know this person. Just because we're the same skin color, I get if we get to talking, we might have relations, but we haven't even gone to talking.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like, I don't know what that thing really, really irks me. When I see that you're going out of your way, you're extra nice and extra helpful. And to be fair, actually, I just think coon. I think you punk ass coon. That's what I think about. Actually, look at you. Shaking your bum for myself. Go on. Go on.
It's a shame.
Honestly, I really hate it. It makes me so sick. But no, that's sad though.
Yeah, man. It's a shame, man.
That's a damn shame.
I see Ed in the chat said, I'm too big to go Caribbean shop and get disrespected. Can't remember the last time I went to one.
So you don't go anymore.
At all.
Fair. That is somebody with boundaries a lot of our therapists want us to have. Fair.
It's not nice.
Because I
man.
can't I just fine tune. That's gonna get Excel, yeah. And then the person was like, are you gonna order it? I said, no. No, I'm not. He was like, why? I said, because it's no point. I said, every time I call and I order, when I get there, I still have to wait. I said, so basically, and that annoys me.
Yeah.
So I said to cut off the annoyance, because unfortunately, I haven't learned how to make oxtail yet. And quite honestly, frankly, I can't bother. I can't bother to learn how to make it. And if I was to learn how to make it, I want her to teach me how to make it, because I like hers.
Yeah.
So I've then basically had to fine tune my expectations. I have no expectations other than the food would be nice, which has never disappointed.
Yeah.
So I just don't order. When I go in, I just wait there. And guess what? I wait the same amount of time as if I'd ordered. Actually, I think it's shorter. I think it's shorter time. Because I think when I call them, I don't know if they think I'm not going to show up. I don't know. Because I remember the first time I did, they said 10 minutes. I said, oh yeah, I'll be there. I was even there in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
I was there longer. So then I started, as time went on, if they say 10 minutes, I'll get there in 15.
Yeah.
Sometimes I haven't even left on my bed. I haven't even changed out my bed clothes to go. But when I'm like, okay, that's fine, I'll meet you there. But every single time I have to wait. But when I go this time, it's shorter for some reason. I don't get the signs. I think it's because if I order them, maybe they don't, I don't know.
they
They just
wait
don't prep it. They wait for me to come.
there.
Yeah. And then they do other orders. So when I'm there now, when it's live-o, she shouts to the back of the kitchen. Do you want it warm? I'm like, no, it's all right. I want it in my house. Before I know it, the food is here. I'm like, oh, thank you very much. So, unfortunately,
this is it, man.
some of us don't have boundaries like you, Ed. And I still want the oxtail.
Demi said it's so bad in Nigeria. They treat white customers like kings.
They treat white people like kings.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely, they treat anybody like kings though. They treat Lebanese people like kings, treat white people like kings, treat Chinese people like kings. They treat anybody like kings except their own, and it's absolutely pathetic. Unless you're rich, then they treat you like a king too. I remember my mum said years ago, she must have gone to ShopRite. So ShopRite's like a Tesco. And there was a long queue, and this white woman just waltzed onto the front. Like, and you just know she's done it many times, and no one said anything. My mum was like, excuse me, like, what are you doing? I was like, you need to go to the back of the queue. She was like, you see everybody standing here. My mum was like, in your own country, if you went to Tesco, would you just go to the front? And she was all stuck. My mum was like, go to the back. Get to the back. And it's really bad. Like, that's why I say that with our problems, like, it's so many things.
Yeah.
And that's why even like, it's just so many things, man. It's too many things it's too many complexes that unfortunately our race have. Because the way I see it, the people that do it here as well, that's why they do it. Because in some way in your mind, you think that white people or anybody else from another race other than yours is more superior. But then it's funny though, because as much as that happens, and it goes even into gender. Because remember when the whole hairstylist thing was happening, and the girls are being thrown to do this. If you don't blow dry your hair, they cancel your appointment. If you don't do this, they don't do that. They're out here washing the guys' hairs. Like, they're out here like, oh, don't worry. I'll detangle it for you. It's weird. It's very, very weird behavior.
Why do you think that is, though? With the men? Why is it different for the men?
That's why they're auditioning for men all the time.
Or I could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
Do you think it could be because, like, you kind of see the man as kind of helpless in that scenario?
But I think that's the problem, though. But I think I don't think it's just in that scenario, though. I think it's generally because when you look at people's like some people's family dynamics, the girls are treated more harshly than the guys are. Do you get me? Like, the girl has to be the one to learn how to cook, do laundry, do this, do that, do whatever, as if. And then the mindset is like when the guy moves out or whatever, he will find a woman who's also been raised to take care of a man or to do these domesticated things, which I rate my mum highly. My mum said, sorry, but not my mum, not just my mum. My mum, and because my mum is like that, was because my grandparents were like that as well, where the boys and the girls did everything. The girls washed cars too, the girls cut grass too, the men were in the kitchen. Like, I think it's a cultural thing, where it's like you treat men as if they're helpless and they just can't help themselves. They can't do anything. And so you always are willing to step in for them and mother them. Like, it's a mothering thing where you must mother your siblings, you mother men, you mother your husband, you mother this. None of my watch. I mother myself.
It's a damn shame. Well, we've got 2 other clips to go to. But before we go there, literally as you was talking, I just got like a message on Instagram by somebody called Don Dada. And literally all he said was, been following the podcast for a while.
Don Dada. There's a Afrobeat artist that goes by that.
Oh, serious?
Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
I think he's an artist though, but I don't know. But yeah, he says, been following the podcast for a while. Really like what you guys are doing for the culture and black community.
Thank you very much.
So big up you, man. Big up you, Don Dada. Yes. Okay. Next clip, Brent.
Sorry, is Don Dada following us?
Ooh, I don't know, you know.
Brent!
Don Dada follow us, man.
I want to be able to identify it so we can bring him on as a guest, right? He said he was an artist.
I think it's based in like America, you know.
That doesn't mean anything.
He comes on holiday.
Yes, he does. And obviously he can jump on Zoom.
True indeed. Sure. I will interrogate and ask the brother.
I'm sure he's watching.
Big up him, man.
All the time.
Big up you, babes. Thank you.
But yes, the next clip, Brent.
All right. Which one are we going for?
The one in the middle.
Middle.
I don't remember what it is, to be fair.
So you don't remember what it is?
It's going to be a surprise to me too. Oh, yes.
What was this? AI couple stereotype goes viral. Oh, Lord.
Big up Irene. She sent this via Instagram.
Big up AI. Big up Irene.
And some of these stereotypes, well, I'll leave it to you guys to decide what you think of it. But yeah, Brent, if you don't mind just scrolling through.
Stereotypical couples in each UK city, according to AI.
That's what my own stream, brother. What are you saying? You were defending Ozzy.
That is like correct.
The most stereotypical.
Do you know what's killing me? Is the background noises for the South Asian couples. That is so racist. Fair though.
Some of them were diabolical though, man. Brighton was
I think that's ironic because I don't know why he had to wear a crop top. It could have been a gay couple. He did not need to be wearing a crop top. AI is sexist and racist.
Have you been to Brighton?
I did. I actually did it on a school trip. But I can never go back there again.
He basically said, AI is sexist, racist, but accurate. He said,
The one thing about AI.
Have you been to Brighton?
Don't lie. God damn mess.
I remember being in Brighton and using what was that app with Tinder? I think Kunle was there in it, and I put Tinder on.
Oh, big up, Kay.
Big up.
Yeah. I know I haven't spoken to him in some
Yeah, no,
time.
wow, yeah.
I've seen like updates and stuff on this thing, but anywho, what's the last one?
It's a wholesome one, man.
Okay, I thought that was a wholesome one, thank God.
I mean, it might be controversial or whatever, but
dear.
it was wholesome what the dad did. You know what I mean? If I'm being
Okay,
honest.
fair.
Just made this.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah.
Who is that?
I think it was wholesome.
Is that...
Based on how the father's face was, I think it took a lot for him to even do this. And,
What is this?
Obviously, it meant a lot to the son.
I'll read the.
I can't
read the
you know, I
thing.
can't
to you.
Prom. So basically, my husband surprised his son by taking him to the prom.
My husband surprised his son by taking... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Husband surprised his son by taking him to the prom.
So is his son trans? Oh, okay. What's for that wig is really...
Don't mess up that makeup,
Stick hair. Oh, they're matching as well. Oh, it's a suit dress. Sorry, I can see it's like Rocky Road.
Oh, he's crying. Oh, my God. Oh, you made him cry. Wait. Let's let him fall on the floor. Let him fall. Let him fall on the floor.
I know my son is trans.
Baby. I know my son is
Hold on. You can't
The fact that you're
cry the
saying
makeup
son,
down. You got to cry there.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think it's...
Yeah.
Because if they said son, in my mind, if you're going to take me to prom, at least you could just give my right gender.
Yeah.
Or pronoun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Look up. Oh, Mello's crying.
She's crying.
He didn't know his papa.
Who's she?
I thought someone just said she's crying.
Oh, then
So they got it right.
maybe
I don't know.
maybe
child.
all of them
Maybe
there.
that you guys still get used to it.
Yeah, just to get used to the language.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the father has gotten used to it. He's just not saying anything.
You know what? I just have
To
nothing
be honest, I think him being in the house with all of those particular women, his life would be miserable if he didn't look to basically say, I give up. I give up.
Before you guys, what did you guys say the other day? That thing you guys live by, happy life, happy wife, happy wife, happy life.
Oh man, and, you know, the man's a Muslim, you know. Like,
Do you know what?
it's
It's stuff like that. Some people accept their children like that. Do you know what I mean? Like it's it's their religion or whatever, but hate the sin and love the person kind of vibe. Do you know what I mean? No, hate the sin, I said hate the sin and love the person. Hate the sin, love the person kind of vibe. Hate the sin.
But yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's very
right.
thingy, but it's, you know what I mean?
That's cute, man.
He did what he did for his child, man.
And prom is it's a very big thing for Americans. So I can't imagine, like, as a child, not missing your prom because no one wants to go with you, anything like that. Like, that would be a very defining moment. And that could be their evil arch, really. So, fair.
All right.
Nice. Let's get into our headlines.
Okay.
Oh dear.
All right, people. So, headlines. 2 women who are part of a Russian spy network run from the UK are named for the first time today by a BBC investigation. Bulgarian nationals Vetelina Gencheva and Svetkanka Doncheva took part in an elaborate surveillance operation against people and spied on them by the cell. I don't even know what that means, but that's what they were doing. Right?
They were spying. They were doing Russian spy things.
Exactly. Mr. Chiva, who was an airport worker, hung up when contacted by phone and said that she did not want to comment on the case in response to a subsequent letter. Ms. Doncheva denied being herself and walked away when approached near her home in Vienna in Austria. 6 other Bulgarians are awaiting sentencing in London for their roles in spying for Russia as part of the cell. Next headline, and Sakir Starmer has said that the government can be more efficient by using AI technology ahead of the spring statement. Questioned on BBC Radio 5 Live on whether unprotected departments would face cuts, the PM said that ministers were looking across the board, but he wanted to challenge government to be more efficient. Rachel Reeves has confirmed civil service departments will be asked to cut 15% from their budgets, but there is political unease amongst Labour MPs about the scale of the cuts to these departments, which the Chancellor will outline in her statement on Wednesday. It comes after the government unveiled sweeping changes to the benefit system aimed at saving £5 billion a year by 2030. The PM was asked by the BBC later if he would consider changing the government's fiscal rules and responded no, because we had to stabilise the economy, which is what we did with the budget. He also added that the difference is that the global situation has changed. I think most people would understand that in the last few weeks and months, the international insecurity has got very real, and that does impact domestically. And the last headline, a body representing more than 90 airlines using Heathrow Airport have threatened to take legal action if a settlement over the cost that they incurred from Friday's day-long closure is not reached. The chief executive of Heathrow Airline Operators Committee, Nigel Wicking, told Sky News that he hoped the matter could be amicably settled at some point in time. He also said if we don't get good enough recourse and a repayment in terms of the cost, then yes, there might be a case for legal action. I would hope not, but in some of these situations, that's the only course once you've gone through everything else. Heathrow, which is Europe's largest airport, was closed from the early hours of Friday morning after a fire at a major electricity substation hit electricity supplies. Mr. Wicking also called for an independent investigation of what happened and why the recovery took so long. And that's it for our headlines.
All right, let's get into what you're saying.
Yeah, before we move on, because bomba clad.
Shadow Moses says, of course Brent thinks this is wholesome.
Who brought wholesome up?
Emmanuel.
Can you imagine?
I think people, I realize this. I think this is one of the best. I think this is one of the spaces in life that I actually I feel the advantage of being a woman. People know when it's me. Because they keep confusing you, Marks, and E-Man up these days that I don't even know who's what. Brent is not on camera.
But I think they're saying that you concurred.
But that's the issue he wants to flag.
But not the person that originally said he was wholesome.
Can you imagine?
Or me that said, oh.
When you find out about who Brent really is.
Oh my shock, eh?
Oh my God. Everybody's swinging for madness, bro. I don't like any swingers. Get off. Get off. All right, cool.
Yes.
Topic of the day.
All right, people. So today's topic of the day is loosely based off the dilemma yesterday. So big up the brother that sent in that dilemma, but also because Jackie messaged me to say, yo, let's make this the topic of the day. Could you date somebody or marry somebody who is a Trump supporter? If you're basically the opposite of that. If you hate Trump, if you hate Farage, you hate Kemi Badenoch, whatever the party is, the movement is, if that person, your significant other, supports, resonates with them, relates to them, whatever it may be, could you marry them or date them? Should your political position be enough to, I don't know, mess up your relationship? What's your thoughts, guys?
I think so.
Okay.
I think when I was younger, I used to think, oh no, I don't think it like is that deep or whatever. But I actually do think it is. 'Cause I think it's about. Sometimes it's about the things that these people represent, like people, like different political parties represent, and what kind of laws they're trying to introduce and all that, and where you stand on that. So, say for example, someone like Trump, I don't think Trump respects women like that. You know what I mean? Let's just run with that. But even let's even forget that. But like, say the DEI thing and his views on like immigration and stuff like that, and sending people who are not American back and whatever, and even people. I saw a headline there, but I just didn't click on and read it properly. But even people who are American, there's a whole thing, and people are basically saying all of you that voted think you were just going to be illegal immigrants. Now they're targeting actually. It's a whole thing. But I just think stuff like that speaks to where people's values and morals lie. And I think that your morals and values have to align if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, because there are going to be social issues that affect you, and your partner should be able to support you on, not telling you you're doing too much because it's not that deep. So I think things like that matter. Like, I couldn't be with somebody who doesn't believe in women's rights, who believes that all these laws trying to suppress or oppress women should exist. It makes no sense to me, because when these things are then affecting me, when I'm passionate about the things that's coming up or whatever, and I need support in that area, forget like even actual support, just emotional support for what I am witnessing in the world around me. My partner cannot be someone that's reinforcing the oppression I'm trying to fight against in wider society. That makes no sense to me. So,
what if, Brent, if you don't mind, quickly, remember the other day you were minding your business and you saw some people that I considered insane in Shoreditch? Remember? They were doing some activism.
Yes. I put it on the story.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you put it up? Is that possible?
The story, I'll put up the
video. Thank you very much. What I was going to say to you, Esther, is what if, because I could be just speaking general, thinking here, but do you feel as though that a lot of political parties don't always disagree on certain things, but more so disagree on how to get to that particular thing? So, for example, do people believe that the right, for example, is against women's rights? Or is it more so that they're for women's rights, they believe in equality, but they believe in a better way of getting there?
I think sometimes that's all semantics.
Okay.
Because when you look at, if you look at, because that's why it's not enough to just be like, oh, this person is against women's rights. It's important to look at why, what kind of laws they're trying to pass, and how that will infringe on women and their freedom and all that kind of stuff. And I personally think that's all semantics. Because I think that if you're someone who supports, say for example, you support women's rights, the way that you're trying to get there should never make the people that you support feel oppressed. It just shouldn't. If you're for them, it should be clear and obvious that you're for them. It's not one of those things where tough love kind of vibe. No one's got time for that.
But what if that's a more sustainable thing long term? Because basically what I'm getting at is, obviously there are definitely extremes in it, but a lot of people kind of just believe, for example, that maybe, I don't know, for let's just say the welfare state.
Yeah.
Some governments may say, you know what, let's cut benefits so that people can have the confidence to get into work and things of that nature. While others may say, okay, cool, we want them to have the same confidence, but they need more time. So let's continue with the welfare. So both parties will say, no, we want both people to be okay long term, but it's just different ways to get it. But another person may say, for example, from the opposing side, that they really are against these people, because why would you want to cut their benefits? Why would you do this? You know what I'm saying? And that side may say, yeah, but they're really against those people because they just want to feed them, I don't know, keep them, hand to mouth, so that they can rely on their votes. They're just using them. Yeah. So what I'm basically getting at is both people could really want the same thing, just have different ways to get in there.
They say that though, but it's still politics though. Political agenda, it's nice to present as if you're for the people, you care about the people, but the reality is that they don't. Oh, we didn't even talk about it. There was someone put out the menu in number 10. These people are having proper steak, right? And all the great trimmings for less than £10. Meanwhile, what we're dealing with in the real world is something different. So something like that, no, because you can't tell me that you want to cut off welfare state because you want people to build confidence. It's not about that. It's not the reason why some people don't work is not down to confidence. That's not the reason for it. There's people that have disabilities, that you actually can't see. There's people that are carers of people with disabilities and whatever. Like, there's so many reasons that you can try and mask this and say whatever you want to say. And I think that's the reality when people who are not politicians are discussing politics, is that you've got to be able to see beyond the proper, like, the packaging that they're presenting to you. So it's difficult to be with somebody who doesn't align with your political views, and you just don't align on certain values and things that you think are important. Like, you need to think that the issue, if you're in a heterosexual relationship, the issues that my man cares about, I need to think that they're important. The issues that I care about, he needs to think they're important. Otherwise, what are we doing here?
Ben, have you found it?
Yes.
Okay, if you don't mind playing it, please. And obviously, I just want to see what you guys think of this, yeah? So this is Brent was minding his business, and he spots this, yeah?
What is that? Oh, that
yeah.
thing. Oh, I saw it in the story. What was that? I didn't understand. What's the woman doing on the floor? Because I didn't understand why everyone was just walking as if she wasn't on the floor.
That's the blood spilled.
But
Because she's in a red hoodie.
Yes.
Do these people have jobs? Because if so,
Yes.
I want to work where they work. Got
But
great
yeah.
annual leave.
that's the job.
I can't make the job. I can't be pouncing about Shoreditch, laying on floors in the red jumpers, talking about the blood that spilled. I'm stupid. Don't be silly.
Rich, can you get this photo? You what? Okay, yeah. And we can get a photo of all four of us. Oh, come on. Can't have enough cameras here, can we? I told you before. Yeah, get on with it.
Oh, they're acting out.
Yeah.
The activists.
I mean, they're acting out the message. Right. They're acting out the message?
What's the message?
I don't know. Because it just said like a bunch of wallies to me.
So basically, the poster said the Third Reich.
Okay.
Right? It's a play on the Third Reich. And then you have Trump, top left. Then you have JD Vance. Then you have, who's this? Elon Musk.
Okay.
Then you have Farage. Then you have Putin. And then you have Netanyahu.
Right.
Just so you
The big
are
six.
aware, right? Within 20 to 25 minutes
Yeah.
of this going up, there were counter activists, right? Two lads, probably from West Ham Football Club, right? Supporters. Because they had West Ham jerseys on. Yeah.
Absolutely.
They got over their van, right? And they came and they just tore down one of them. Which one did they tear down?
The one with the spilled blood.
What? I've named 6 people there, right?
Oh, one
Which
of them.
one did they tear down?
Ooh, probably Nigel Farage. He's not white.
Which,
Where
one
did
did,
they-
which one did they tear down, Joanna?
West Ham supporters, you said.
West Ham.
And these are white West Ham supporters.
Both white.
Okay.
Hunt.
Ooh. Trump.
Okay. Both of you were wrong.
Elon.
Guess again.
Who was on there? So we had Elon on there, we had Trump on there, we had
JD Vance.
JD Vance,
Putin.
Putin,
You had Netanyahu and you had Farage.
probably Netanyahu.
Manuel?
Because the name's too complicated for them to say.
I think that was a good one. Elon, you know. I think Elon.
All right.
We're wrong again.
Esther's right.
Netanyahu, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the Zionist.
The
Wow.
racist.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, I asked them why that one.
Of
And
course
he
you
said,
did.
don't ask any questions. I started laughing.
Sure, brother.
Started laughing. I said, whoa. Come on, you hammers.
Oh, man.
Yeah, actually,
They
did.
left the rest, you know. They left the rest. So right now, I think right now is people over. Ooh. Also, just around the corner, I found this really, really cute. I just didn't take a video of it. I don't know why.
Go on.
There was a security guard sat in front of another, I guess, some sort of exhibition, right?
Yeah.
But it's on the main road. So basically, a whole set of cats were kind of crawling up the wall, but not real
Live cats.
No, not real.
Oh, okay.
They had placed it, so it was a
Okay, yeah.
a little display and whatnot. And he had to sit there so that
guard the
nobody
cats.
would grab a cat. So each time people came, he said, mate, are you looking after the cats? He's like, yeah. And he was like, they were like, how long you stay there for? Well, for as long as my shift is, I gotta, get replacement.
Then they swap shifts.
Yeah, they swap shifts. Yeah. But he gets paid for it.
Yeah, but I hope that's like that's like a private company whose money is going into that. I can't be flipping Keir Starmer. That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happens over there, mate.
Interesting.
So yeah, when Brent put this up here, I basically reposted it and I said these super duper liberal leftists are insane. Yeah, and somebody, I won't mention her name, but she listened to the show evidently. She said, yes, we're insane for pointing out that people... Yes, we're insane for pointing out that people in power in America are fascists. Trump is a Putin wannabe when he tells government corporations to do away with laws that made segregation illegal. It's not insane, but yes, those calling them out for their racist dictatorship wannabe ideologies are the insane ones. I thought, wow.
Great sarcasm, girl.
You know what I mean? And I just thought... this just feeds into that whole thing. Like, if you really believe these men are fascists, yeah, like the fascists of old, right, then you would kind of maybe have that sort of position. You know what I'm saying? And so I guess you would just not procreate with such a person.
Yeah, I couldn't procreate
It makes
with a Trump
sense.
supporter. I think procreating Trump supporter is the worst thing I could possibly do. Or with like an Elon Musk or Netanyahu or Nigel Farage or like... I couldn't imagine being anybody that properly supports those people.
Is it fair to put them
That's
all
hell.
in the same
I have
bracket?
to.
Serious?
I think that certain things. I feel like in society, when you make certain stances, if you take a stance for something, you have to just accept whatever comes with it. People that think I'm a radical feminist. I've been laying up with a man though. They don't know that, but that's fine. I'm okay with that because I know that when I talk about anything to do with women, there's people that just assume the worst and say, she just hates men, and I've accepted that comes with the stance I've decided to take in life, and that's okay. I've made peace with it. But unfortunately, you can't support someone like Trump and whatever and cry out it's unfair. Trump might end up calling you a simp for crying out it's unfair. But that's where we are.
How about you, Emmanuel? Can you lay up with somebody from the radical left?
I think it's possible, Depends how radical, of course, and depends if there's some Africanism in it. So, for example, if it's like radical left and it's just from a Eurocentric view, then probably not, because they're maniacs, innit? They're like those people there. Ain't got no time for that foolishness. But if it's like leftist, socialist, African, and you know what I mean, they subscribe to those views, and we just kind of just disagree on our economic school of thought, then yeah, I think I can definitely do that, because I know at least we want the same thing. You know what I mean? We're going, to the same place. Just different ways of doing it. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I don't know. Like, let's just say I had a cabinet, for example, yeah. One, and we have to choose people from the chat like we've done before, yeah.
Yeah.
One person I'll definitely have in my cabinet I'll choose is someone like Maggie. We think completely different. And I think we want the same thing, but because we think so differently, we can learn from each other. The swords can clash and we can, you know what I mean? Like, we can figure out a robust way to get to our desired goal. And I think in that respect, it can work if you're a family, you know what I mean? As long as you establish that where you want to go is the same place, you know what I mean? But if it's some crazy nonsense, then nah, I can't do that. Especially if it's anti-African as well, then no chance.
Gerald says, TDA and Eman, you guys should talk about the journalists accidentally included in the group chat by Trump's administrator as they discuss bombing. What?
The Houthis.
The Houthis, unless I've missed it already.
I must have missed that.
That type of information doesn't pass across Emmanuel's desk.
He's worrying about the blood being spilled in, the hypothetical blood in Shoreditch being spilled in red hoodies.
But you know about it?
Yeah, 100%.
What's the lowdown?
It's just disgusting. Just disgusting. Very disgusting. All right. Whilst he frantically basically Googles.
He ain't frantically. You see how cute he is? His hands are very unoccupied.
I need y'all. The same energy that people have when they send him out these clips that he puts up in the
Trust
intro.
me, man.
I beg you. Like, point him out to Trump's real character. Keep doing it. And especially when it has to do with black people. That's the only thing that will make Emmanuel budge. Yeah?
To be fair.
Noble says, would you ban politics at the dinner table?
Good question.
Depends who I'm politicking with. Because you know what? At Christmas now, my mom is not allowed to. We don't talk about politics on Christmas. I gave my family a list of things that will not be discussed on Christmas Day and Boxing Day for the celebrations spill over into that day. Because the views are so different. And it just ends up being annoying to have have those conversations. So it depends who I'm politicking with. But again, if in the terms of a partner, I wouldn't be with somebody who I don't want to discuss these things with, because I wouldn't be in bed with a Trump supporter.
I actually like speaking to people who can make arguments for their case, right? I wouldn't mind politicking. Good morning, Jackie. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Well, I'm good. I'm good too. Thank you.
That you sound
Not
good.
cultured enough to ask.
Sorry?
I'm echoing, that's why, sorry.
All right.
Esther, I don't know whether you're still talking.
Do you remember?
Do you think, could you marry someone that supports Trump?
That supports Trump?
That supports Trump, yeah.
No, definitely not.
Do you think all Trump supporters are not in the best interest of everyone? Like they have malice in their heart when they vote for Trump?
I think that, not necessarily, but I think that there's different, they're just different. In my mind, each Trump supporter has different reasons why they relate to him and whatnot. I'm yet to find one thing that I relate to Trump on. So that's why I wouldn't be with a Trump supporter.
But why couldn't you just agree to disagree? Say, for example, I wanted more jobs. I had a friend who was like, support Trump, I'm not going to talk to you again.
Yeah, but friendships are different though. Like the way I see relationships and I see marriage and stuff, because I'm let's say marriage, right?
Marriage, yeah.
My home is a safe space. And I'm very big on curating the kind of energy that I want in my home. So I don't like discourse. The most discourse and the most talking I do is on TDA. Outside of that, I love peace. I just love peace. And of course, there's going to be like different things happen in life. And sometimes you have to have conversations that are not comfortable and whatever else. But those are not things that those are the things that I can't, I can't avoid those things. But what I can avoid is being in the same home, being in the same home as a Trump supporter, when I know that we don't relate to anything. Like, I think in something like that, I'm not a agree to disagree person. Like, I'm not going to agree to disagree with the partner I choose. That makes no sense to me. On something like that. Like, if it's things where we have, because again, you don't always, that with your partner, you're not always going to agree on everything, and that's fair. Yeah. But something like politics is a big thing, it's a big part of our world. I'm not going to do that, because in the same way, if I'm going to be with a Trump supporter, then I can be with somebody who also doesn't think feminism is a good thing, who doesn't think women should have rights. Like, I could, if I decide to agree to disagree, I could agree to disagree with misogynistic, racist, and I just don't see why I should.
I think we always assume that the opposing person has some radicalist negative views. Some people just think, if they look at what Trump has done, although I don't know what Trump has done, in terms of the policies and stuff, it has benefited the family structure. So some people are voting purely for that. It's like, if he brings that to the table, I'm down. And all the other things that happen, they were happening anyway. Yeah. It's like I heard someone saying DEI. Yeah, that was me. The speed in which they took it off tells you they never wanted it on in the first place.
Yeah.
They took it off. So like, if you're voting for the other side, it doesn't mean that you equally don't want the same goal. Would you marry someone that is a Trump supporter but has the same views on how to raise your kids? Because that's really hard when you marry. In terms of like, maybe you want conservative views, you might want to send your kid to private school. Yeah. Your partner says, no, I just want to send him to state school because it made me rough and tough and I'm successful without it. But they have your political views, but dissimilar views in other places. But then there's a Trump supporter who just believes in Trump or voted for Trump because of the fact that he's conservative to some extent. But then every other thing, they are aligned with you.
I get you, but the thing is though, this is personal to me. This is how I like to date. I wouldn't be with someone who supports Trump, whether you like this thing or like specifically Trump, because of the things that I've seen Trump do, because of the kind of, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't be with someone who's so anti other races that accept whites. he has a racist mindset, and I would be shy for any black person anyway that's supporting Trump. But that one is besides the point. Also, the things that has been alleged by him about what he's done to women, the assaults. I'm sorry, I'm just not doing it. Like, it's not that. It's things like that is not that deep to me. Like,
what if you voted for the party, not Trump?
It's
you're
just
voting for the Republicans. You're not voting for the
Jackie, I
actual
promise
person.
you, it doesn't matter how many scenarios you bring up, girl.
You wouldn't
I would not
date that person. Wow.
No, I would not.
I don't think some black men are honest about why
they support Trump. Thank you very much. They're not.
They go for the like he's businessman, man. He's a businessman, man. When they're McDonald's workers.
Okay.
You okay?
They got no
Okay. It's the fact that he's like only two genders, baby, male, female,
and that's what they like because he appeals.
Didn't say that. You know,
I think a lot of people
say that. No, they don't. No, they don't.
And also, I think it's more than just one thing, though. You know what I mean?
Name some more.
I don't know, like what they think.
Yeah,
but
go on. Yeah.
But I do think it's
what they
theorize.
But I do think people like that Trump is just he's a breath of fresh air, man, compared to other politicians.
Yeah, people like rebellion.
He's not a politician. He just talks, so it's a bit entertaining. Plus, it looks like he just gets stuff done. You know what I mean? Like
it looks like he just gets stuff done.
Thank you very much.
Yeah?
It looks like.
No, but
that's what you want to see. That's why people vote, because it looks like they get stuff done.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, if I hear someone say to me, if the potential partner that's trying to court me says, "Oh, I like Trump because he looks like he gets stuff done," first of all, you're a clown, and for that reason, forget even Trump. Just because that's the mindset and the reason you come up with, goodbye.
Didn't say you love Farage too, innit? Because that's the same
Yeah,
type of
but
way.
Farage is UK.
What's
Whether
Farage
UK
got
is not
done?
that extreme.
But he's on his way to doing the same thing, right?
No,
the same type of language he uses about how the establishment have been lying to the people for the longest while, and politics is a whole game of wokeism and all that crap. 100%. That's what he runs on. So if he does come into power, I'm not expecting anything other than the same type of stuff I'm seeing from Trump.
I hear it, but I think also, and I mentioned this a few times, people only, especially in America, well, to be fair, it's here too, you only kind of have two options, you know what I'm saying, about who's going to take office next. And people didn't have any confidence in the opposition. They had no confidence in it. So this is one of the reasons why Trump won. You know what I mean? He looks like a strong figure. He ain't going to take nonsense from certain people. He's going to stop wars. He's going to stop the immigrants from coming in. Like, even if they're wrong about these sentiments, right, in terms of the accuracy of these things, they believe it based on what the media is saying, and also they believe he's the guy to fix it. It's literally as simple as that.
I think it's not just about the perceived competency of Trump that got him elected. It was the fact that a dead man was paraded.
That's definitely part of it.
As a man who was cognitively astute.
Yeah, 100%.
And the way forward for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
And the American people, obviously, they were seeing bread skyrocket and all kind of stuff. I mean, if a man comes in to say that he's going to fix that, then I don't care about who that man is. I need bread to go back down, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So even if it's a lie, I want to basically vote for the person who is saying they can do that.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it still speaks to his competency. It could speak to the fact that he knows exactly what to say in order to get the votes.
100%. Like every politician.
I don't think it's like every politician.
It is, man.
Every
the
politician
successful
does
ones.
that. They stop your ears.
No. When I say it's not like every single politician, because did Kamala Harris win?
No, but that's what I'm saying. She wasn't successul. So she
wasn't
wasn't
as
able.
good as such and such, right?
Yeah, at all. No way there.
So that's the distinction I'm looking for. But anyway, I swear I was talking before Jackie cut me off, and I don't even know what I was going to say. Thanks, Jackie. This comment from Rob. What if you share the same ideologies with your partner and after a few years, their views on certain topics start to change? What happens then? Till death do us part, right? So,
because you are allowed to change your mind, and circumstances can allow that to happen. Actually, so some people that even voted for Trump back in the days, 8 years ago, whenever it was, have now changed their mind. So what do you do then? But your household, everything in your house is the same. And you can say just that section of conversation, because of that, you're going to make it blow up in your household or divorce.
I guess that's when you kind of ban that type of talk in the house at the dinner table and stuff. Because at that point, you have to just agree to disagree because you're together now. You know, you decided to have kids and live a particular way. You know what I mean? At that point, to keep everything together, you just have to ban those type of conversations. You know what I mean? Because why?
I would think ultimately, if you like someone, you'd have the same foundation, not the conduit or the avenue which it comes from, but you have the same moral values as a foundation. So I'm assuming that if you marry someone, they would want your values and views, but they might agree with Trump based on their perception of him. That makes sense. They might agree with Nigel Farage or a conservative view. Like what you said, they might all want the same goal, but a different way.
Yeah.
So you
if
see
you were
how
marrying someone.
You see how Kanye was when him and Kim got married, and then let's just forget that they got divorced or whatever. They got married again. Yeah, let's just forget that they got divorced, and then he then became what he became. So people would then say to Kim, "Oh no, just in that one area of your household, just keep that to this." This man became a Nazi overnight. So in that one area of your household, just don't talk about it, or just keep that to the side, and your marriage is still the same. People underestimate how, like, one part of your relationship can bleed into the other, can bleed into the other, can bleed into the whole relationship, can affect everything. But I think ultimately people should just do what it is that works for them and their household.
But Kanye, if you see the thread, like people say before you get married, what you see is what you store. You could see Kanye was gonna be on this trajectory.
That man was not. No one could have ever guessed he was gonna be a Nazi.
I could.
No, Nazi's extreme, but still on that trajectory of madness.
What vision do you have that we
today
don't
was
have?
Nazi, tomorrow will be something else.
He would do the next thing that would shock. So whatever.
And you thought that in the examples you thought Nazi.
I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, but not being surprised is different to.
True. If you'd
do you know
asked
what I mean?
me,
That you could expect the worst of him, but
if you'd asked me to basically kind of plot out
what you think he would
2
do,
years
yeah,
of madness, I could 100%.
I don't think I never guessed he would have ever said slavery is a choice.
I would.
I think you're saying that after the fact now, you know.
Also, Kanye's.
I don't know how that's the example you would draw.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. Sorry, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't specifically say he's going to draw for the line.
But the thing is that
slavery is a choice.
Yeah, but the thing is that if people ask you, what do you like? I get you didn't have much expectation of him as a person, right?
Yes.
But if you were asked for examples,
Yes.
I don't think that the examples you would have said would be as extreme as what we are now witnessing today. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
No, I guess I would have said he's probably going to say something that will completely piss off a certain portion of the black community.
Okay.
And then try to walk it back. And then say something again that will piss off the black community and then walk it back.
Fair.
And then do it again and then walk it back.
Yeah.
So specificity, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have the answers.
Fair. Yeah, I think with these things ultimately, I think people have different reasons why they want to be in relationships, and also the kind of home and environment they want to and relationship they want to cultivate for themselves. Some people are happy to just be with somebody that makes sense. They're okay. Like every checkpoint for you, they just hit average. They hit okay. They hit I can live with this. Some of us don't live that way, and I don't think it's a crazy thing to not live that way. Politics is a very big thing. Like it's a big thing. It affects our lives, and I couldn't be with somebody whose political allegiance is something that threatens my livelihood. I couldn't do that.
Do you think the Kanye example is an extreme one? Do you feel like he could have had the same trajectory if he didn't have the alleged mental health issues?
He doesn't have mental health issues.
You don't think so?
Oh,
he does, man.
I think he's ill, but I don't think that his mental health issues is why he's doing the things he's doing.
I think it contributes, man.
I don't think so. I think that's one of the excuses that people have made for him as well. And that's why people whenever they talk about the things that he does, they must quickly say that, oh, he's a genius and he had a great album. Mental health illnesses.
I definitely put my
the things that mental health illnesses make people do, it's not making them become Nazis overnight.
But it's about processing the information, isn't it?
His is about pride and arrogance and a bunch of other personal character traits that he has as an individual. He is mentally ill, but I don't even know his mental illness might just be depression. Yet we're seeing craziness, other crazy stuff. So
I put my hand up. I was one of the people who said that Kanye West is a musical genius.
You weren't.
100% I was.
You were.
Yes.
Fair.
And I think I will still stand on that.
That's good.
As in history.
Historically, he was a genius.
120%. Because
right now,
you still need a consistent outlay
yeah,
of excellence, right? For me to maintain that in the present sense. And it has gone downhill drastically. Obviously, he's dropped a recent one. I haven't heard that yet.
People were saying it's really good. People are saying that but then I feel like I don't know if that's the Kanye cult though. They're saying, "Oh, it's really, really good." And if he wasn't doing the things he was doing,
I'll let you know.
Yeah,
I'll let you know. It's on YouTube.
Allegedly.
It's not on Spotify, but I'll let you know. I'll listen to it.
Ed says social media, partisan media, and algorithm-driven echo chambers amplify extreme views, remove nuance, and deepen divisions. So being able to respect and compromise is more difficult. Fair.
And also, how we hold on to politics is actually a Western thing. First of all, none of us are that close to the politicians or the policies involved. But if you go to Africa, you'd find that couples are in opposing parties and they're married and they're fine. They just banter. It's the way in which they have those conversations. They agree to disagree. It's like a Friday night after drinks conversation when they're having a group of people. But those who actually are deep into politics, who favor from being on a particular side, they're the ones that actually say, no, I can only marry someone from, for example, Ghana, NDC or MPP. But the lower level people like us that have no power in policies currently, they're fine. But in the West, in the UK, it's like, are you a Trump supporter? First of all, the fact that UK people British people are even having that conversation about Trump is also wild, because that's not even your country. I know it does, when America sneezes, we all catch a cold. But ultimately, it doesn't really affect our day-to-day life, apart from eggs and all of that. But yet people can still say, I won't marry you, because if you support Trump, then that's a deal breaker.
I disagree.
Sorry, is this an issue that there's people who don't want to marry somebody that's a Trump supporter?
No, not in the sense of it's become so prevalent in the West where conversations are had. I've had personal conversations, even like, if you believe in this particular thing, over even religion, people are saying, I'm going to stop talking to you because of this, because you like this particular person. Not in this whole entirety, but this particular person, you like them, or you said you agree with them to some extent, I'm not going to talk to you. But they will talk to a Muslim, or someone from a different religion, someone from anything that's different apart from that. So it's like, why is this the ultimate deal breaker for so many of us now?
Because people think it's important. And though you say that it's not something that affects people at a lower level because we're not close to politicians and blah, blah, blah, I think the Roe versus Wade judgment would say otherwise. I think politics does affect everybody. It affects the world that we live in. I'm having to possibly have to pay for Blackwall Tunnel and whatever else. That's politics. That's because of the party that was voted in. That's like... that all of it does affect people. I don't think you have to be of a certain class to be affected by like the people that we vote in, regardless of what part of the world you're in. And I think sometimes as well, I think these things is deeper than just the figure or the party someone supports. It's about the mindset again. Because for me, with the Trump supporting thing, it's also about the mindset. If you say, yeah, I support Trump and blah, blah, blah, that means to an extent you may agree with his mindset. And if I get to the bottom of it and find that you do agree with that, then that would obviously be an issue. So yeah, okay, Trump's Trump's laws, because we don't live in America, may not affect us, but you align with somebody that thinks like that. You align with someone that has such ideologies. And I don't want to associate with somebody that has that.
I aligned with, out of the 10 things, 2 picked out, because I'm so apathetic about voting, for example, not me. I don't vote in America. I'm so apathetic that out of the 10 policies from each side, 2 stuck to me from this side, and I preferred just the 2. The other ones I wasn't really bothered about. But these two out of the 10, I did, and I didn't like anything else. But for the sake of not voting and losing a vote, I voted for that one.
But the thing is that unless you're trying to date somebody that has this, that holds the views that I hold, why is this an issue? I don't understand why. I don't understand why this is an issue. People have different reasons why it is that they want to date. People have reasons why it is they want to get into relationships and their friendships or whatever. People have different criterias, and people are allowed to have that. So if there's somebody who says, if I just hear that you're a Trump supporter, I don't care what policy you wanted to support, you're off the card to me, that's their business. Like, no?
But isn't that a slippery slope that we're going down?
It's not a slippery slope unless you're the one that wants to date me.
People that you're only surrounded with people that agree with you.
And that's their person's problem, but that's their life to live. That's their issue. That's their problem.
But
how is that going to affect if I decide to have a marriage like that? If I decide to have a marriage like that, how does that affect your home?
But it's bad for society in general and people from different views.
So now we care about what's bad for society in general.
First it'll be your home, then it'll be your friendship groups, then it'll be your community, and then it'll be literally there'll be balloons of people that only think in one way and they don't have infiltration with the other
But there wouldn't be, because there'll be people like you guys who don't think the way these people think. So
but in the end, you're like, we're not going to hang around with Black Rob and Jackie because they always have no opposing view.
And that's fair. You have your group that you hang out with.
Yeah, but then you'll only have people that sound like you and think like you.
But why is that your problem? Why is that your headache?
That's for like even communities such as the Wahites, they are very insular, and that's why they ask questions that you think is simple because they haven't expanded their community.
But why is that your problem? In society, there's so many people from different tribes, from different countries, with different views, different religions. There's so many differences in societies, and people find their own tribe. They find people that they relate to. So if someone is finding their tribe based on political ideas, and another person's finding their tribe based on I only want to be friends with women, and another person's finding their tribe based on I only want to be friends with people that are Muslim. The world is vast. There's so many people. It does not affect you personally. I don't understand how someone saying this is the criteria, the kind of partner I want, affects you. I just feel like you're taking paracetamol for someone else's headache.
Jackie and Black Rob, are we speaking about extremes? So, for example, Demi's talking in the chat, right? And he's basically said, he's agreeing with Esther. He's basically saying it's not about the politics per se. It's more so about the values. So you can have, I guess, similar values, right? But be in opposing political parties. But
exactly.
So do you guys subscribe to that as well then?
Yeah, but then you could be on, that's what I'm saying, you could be on any side if you have the same values. Because you would only marry someone that the foundations are the same. Mm-hmm. So another big problem, I'll give you not politics, it's when people have a bit of money and they're like, one person says, I want to send my kid to private school. And the other says, no, state school is good. That's the foundation is the same. I want my child to have a good education, be a good upstanding citizen. But maybe mum thinks the best avenue is to go to private school. And we've got the money now. What's the problem? Dad thinks, no, we did it well in state school and we're fine. We're really successful compared to a few people I know. There's no difference in going private or state. Mm-hmm. They've got the same foundational values and opinions and desires and objectives, but the avenue in which they're doing it is different. One wants to go private school and it's £9,000 a year, for example, and the other is free.
Mm. And I was listening to like the Trevor Noah podcast with Chimamanda. Yeah, Chimamanda, and she was basically what she was saying was that it's a very Western thing that's going on right now, where people with opposing political views do not know how to have discourse with each other because there's a presumption of the moral superiority, especially on the left, where you do not agree with what I agree with, therefore you're a bad person. And that illogical jump from disagreement in policy to character assessment is what is causing the divide in society. So while I know Esther said that, don't take paracetamol for other people's headaches, it may not matter in like your personal relationships, or if you're married to someone or whatever, but this is permeating in society. And when people can't engage with people that they don't agree with on a macro level, it causes, this is how civil wars start, this is how this stuff start, because conversations that people were able to have in the dinner table in the 90s and earlier, now they can't have that, and people that, and your life is richer when you have the empathy to understand why other people come to their conclusions. You may not agree with it, but you have the empathy to understand it. I have friends that are on all political spectrums, etc., and I think that's why I almost know the arguments of other people before they make them, because I've got friends that make those arguments. I don't shun them, I don't agree with them, but I understand them. And then there's a lack of understanding on the other side when you live in an echo chamber of just people that agree with you. I think that's causing a lot of the ills in society right now.
But we're talking about people, the kind of partner you want to have. Like outside of your partner, you've got colleagues that have different views. You've got friends that have different opinions and whatever. I don't understand why you must also desire that kind of diversity in your home.
But even speaking to the partner question,
I'm missing that. Like,
but
when
You
the
know
way
what the
we
question
operate in society, we always have to mingle unless you decide to intentionally keep yourself to yourself or whatever the case might be. You mingle and speak to people from different walks of life and whatever the case might be. But if I do that in my friendship groups, I do that with my wider family, I do that at work and whatever, and I decide that when I come home though, this is not what I want to do, I don't understand how that's a bad thing. And that is what we're talking about. It's about the kind of the partner that you want to choose. I don't understand how that's
right. I asked a question
a
earlier, and
terrible
I
thing.
think it digressed into like a Kanye West discussion. I said, what if you find a partner, you two are aligned on everything, you believe a lot of the same stuff, you get married, and then as time progresses, because everyone changes, isn't it? Even as you get older, as time progresses, maybe their views on stuff changes, and you've kind of stayed in the same place. What happens then? Because I've seen this happen in real time. I've seen people. I got friends that are married that they were both quite left wing. It was actually the wife that became more right wing once they had children, and the children went to school, and then she actually joined as a school governor because she wasn't liking what was going on with stuff that was going on in school and things that they were teaching their child, and then she became more right wing as a byproduct of that, and he kind of stayed where they are. But they had to. What happens then?
That couple will decide what they want to do, because again, when it comes to relationships, family, friendships, partner, romantic, whatever the case might be, people have different things that they're able to deal with. So if your partner changes over time, if their views now are different to how you first met them, and this is something that you don't find harmful, you find like you can live with this, then you would be in the marriage, wouldn't you? If you find that it's something extreme and this is not, you don't feel like this is safe for you or whatever the case might be, you make that decision. But it's not for me, who is not in that relationship, to tell the person how to navigate that.
When you say right wing, do you mean conservative?
Yeah, I would say right wing. I meant conservative. Yeah, that's probably better. Yeah.
Good morning, Demi.
Morning. Can I just pose a quick? Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored. Good.
Good. Can I just pose a quick question to the non-Trump or the Trumps? I don't know if they're Trump supporters or not. I can't really tell.
You better be.
But
I'm independent.
So hard for Trump.
Wait, I don't know.
I'm definitely not.
Whatever.
You're joking.
No. So quick question, right? Would you marry or would you get into a relationship with somebody who is like a black person, but they're anti-black? Like you believe, like they're basically like a coon. Like they specifically always against black issues, always like speaking against anything to do with black people. Would you get married to that person?
Get married to that person? No.
Why is that?
Because they don't have the same foundational views of progression. For me, the foundation.
No, so they have like views in terms of like, so they have similar views to you. Let's say like economically, like they believe.
No, the black view.
No. Forget that part, because we can compartmentalize, as you gave an example before, right? So just forget that part, but focus on the fact that, for instance, in terms of like they're Christian. Like let's say you're Christian. I don't know if you are, but let's say they're Christian. They economically, they work hard. They believe in like entrepreneurship. Like they match your values in that sense. They're just like a generally good person. They're nice to people. But when it comes to black issues, they just believe that black people play the race card. Racism is over. You can just work hard and move yourself up. Like there's no racism. That's only one aspect to them. They fall in line with everything else that you believe in. Are you married to them?
But so the black issue. Let's focus on that. It's just work hard. Pull your bootstraps up and get on with it. Because
but in other aspects, they're aligned with you. Like
I want to see how they're aligned. The
Sorry,
black aspect, they're just saying there's no race issue. Just get on with it.
Just get on with it. Yeah.
Do you know that surprisingly? Do you know who thinks that a lot? People that come from all black countries. They think that like struggle is part of life. Get on with it. And there's a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's a lot of like, especially West African. If you look at West Africans who are homogeneously black that come over, they expect hardship. So it's like it's part of it's not something they're going to cry about. They're not going to go to HR and say, I've been bullied for racism. They're the least people. They're even expecting it.
Fantastic. So you would marry an anti-black person?
That's not anti-black.
Is that your definition of anti-black?
No, I'm asking you. So somebody that is not interested in black issues, that sees black issues as just playing the race card.
That's not anti-black though.
So it's not anti-black.
I don't like black people. They still want the progression of black people, but they're just seeing it as this is not like, let's just get on with it and let's do the thing. And they don't see that as a problem. They might have other values that they think is a problem, like politics in Africa and things that are going on in Africa and healthcare in Africa. That might be where they fight. But you are choosing to fight the race issues because you've seen it. But there's some people that are fighting, but they don't see that because they've never had it.
No, I'm not. I'm not
Reframing
talking
that as
about. I'm not
anti-black
even
issues
talking
is very
about. I'm not talking
reductive. So
about fight.
if they're
I'm not talking
if
about
they're Uncle
fighting.
Ruckus, then you're not going to date them. But like, as I said, there's nuance to most discussion. So the way
Yeah,
Jackie's
and
presented it,
that's
then
what I'm trying to get into.
yeah,
So I'm not even talking about fighting. So I'm not like saying, oh, you need to be going into your workplace and saying, oh, this is racist. That is. I'm just saying that when you experience a racist thing, they just tell you it's not that deep. Get on with it. Pull your bootstraps. Work hard. Like forget about it. Like to me,
Which is
somebody
what
that
men do
ignores.
even with
To
women,
me,
issues.
that somebody that ignores anything related to black issues and says, you know, you're not experiencing anything. Racism doesn't exist. To me, that would be anti-black. But obviously, if that's not to you, then fair enough.
yeah. But he said racism doesn't exist. Someone that believes racism doesn't exist, yeah, that's a line in the sand.
No, but
Because
that's
it
what
does
I was
exist.
describing initially. So
Okay,
all
yeah,
this
okay.
stuff
So
about
in your
people from
definition, yes.
Nigeria or talking about no, but
Now,
so
some
would
people
that
do
not be
believe
in your
racism
definition as well?
exists.
The
They do
definition you
believe
gave,
racism
yes,
exists,
without
but
nuance,
then they
yes.
think that let's just get on with it. So they think, oh, my manager's racist. I know my manager's racist, but he pays me. Let's get on with it. So some people have that blasé attitude. I'm expecting it. Let's get on with it. They're not denying racism, but they're also not going to come home and cry about it. There's that. And there's obviously what you're saying is anti-black. No, you wouldn't marry someone that's anti-black because that means that person's ignorant to what's going on.
Okay, but okay, so fine. Let's agree that that's not anti or whatever your conception of my definition is. But what I'm trying to get to is why would you not marry the anti-black person? Whatever you define as anti-black, why would you not marry that person?
Your definition of anti-black.
No, forget the definition. Whatever your
definitions
definition of
matter.
anti-black is.
Definitions
No,
matter.
I'm saying forget
Half our
whatever
problems
you
are
think
definitions.
whatever you
Okay,
think
what do you
anti-black
think
is. It could
anti-black
literally
is?
whatever you think anti-black is. It could mean anything. Whatever you think it
The
is.
issue is we don't have the same foundational views. We don't have the same foundational views of progression for everybody. So you don't even have that view. It's not who you're voting for is promoting the anti-black agenda. You also don't believe in blackness surviving. You don't believe in any group of people surviving or the black people surviving. And foundationally, I can't run with that. Because I remember I said the foundations should be the same, but the conduit and the avenue which you get it from could be different.
So then I guess if that's the case, what's the problem with somebody who doesn't support ideologically the views of Trump kind of saying to you, look, my foundational views are completely diametrically opposed to everything this man says on a public platform. Therefore, I don't feel we can match in a relationship. Why is that so different to what you're saying?
It wouldn't be found because our foundational views would be the same. But if you checked, first of all, I don't think any of us, majority of us, I'd say 90% of us, don't actually know the what's going on. We just hear this, but something could be your deal breaker. Like Esther's saying, Roe versus Wade is a deal breaker. I don't believe in Roe versus Wade. I think abortion people should have the right with their body. I'm very passionate about that. But if you, I would hope that you would think that some people, I don't know. I know people that aren't passionate about that, and they think that that the government should have their rights. But then I have to agree to disagree with you.
Sorry, did you say you agree with the Roe versus Wade?
So I don't know whether it's agree or I agree with people having rights to their bodies in terms of abortion. I'm very passionate about that.
Yeah, so Roe versus Wade is pro-choice, yeah.
Pro-choice. So I've got a friend who agrees with that being abolished. I'm not going to try and convince you, but we're not going to talk about this. And it's fine. But 99% of all the other things we can have banter and joke about. But Roe versus Wade, you're not going to change my view on that. But I'm not going to stop being your friend. However, that same friend, I remember, was saying that she wouldn't be my friend if I supported Trump.
Yeah, but then I think obviously friends is a different topic. I think when we're talking about partner and somebody that you're going to build your life with and specifically raise children with, I think that's them at a different level, isn't it?
But you have to. That's something. The foundational views would be the same. Let's make sure we eat dinner. Let's make sure we give them the best environment and the best community. Foundationally, you wouldn't see a difference there.
No one's also been able to answer my question around if you share the same values and get married, and then your views change as life progresses.
I did answer.
What are you going to throw them in the bin? Well, you said you just said I don't know what people can do. They can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, but if I was with somebody and their views does change to a point where I think it's extreme or it's very different, and whatever the case is, if I felt like I wanted to leave the person, I would leave the person.
Okay.
Question answered.
Fair enough.
Fighters Spirit Media. Yes, anybody can join the Discord chat. Just go into the channel and I will see you pop up and I will give you the
Put you on the stage.
Sorry, Sorry, Brent.
Yeah, I don't like
just to
how
kind of follow
Miles
up on
there
that.
looking to sub you.
Yeah, I know.
That's
in the
very
comments.
cheeky, very cheeky.
He's devious.
You got
He's
Twitter fingers. That's
he's
Very
crazy.
cheeky.
What happened? What did I do?
fingers while he's in the studio. That's crazy.
What
Demi, that's
happened, man?
crazy.
Tell me what I did.
That's-
man.
that's
Are you chatting shit about
crazy,
Demi in the comments?
No, I'm
When
just,
he's
Imagine.
on
On
Discord,
your
you
own
actually have
show,
access
on your
to him
own
right
show.
He
here.
said he's on the ropes.
Demi,
Can you imagine?
I'm trying to help you. Demi, I'm
Even
trying to
on
help
your
help
own
him
you.
by
show, you
what?
can't even talk up. That's crazy.
Demi, I'm trying to help you, man. It's two against one. You know what I mean? We've had enough back and forth for you to learn certain techniques.
It ain't two against one.
Brother, man's scared to at me live. He's
Imagine,
doing
that's
it. Crazy.
You know that's impossible. You know that's not
Crazy.
true.
Definitely didn't want to draw you out. He wanted attention with
That's
them.
funny, man. That's funny.
Sorry, go on.
No, sorry. Can I just quickly just to add a point though? Like, I feel like generally, I think this is a bit of a non-argument because I to be honest, for me, I feel like when you go into relations with people, right, you choose people based on different things. Mostly, their character, what they believe in, kind of their base values. And I just think that I don't see anything wrong in kind of determining some aspects of somebody's character and saying, you know what, I don't like this, and I just choose not to be in a relationship with that person. I don't see why that's such a big issue. Like, I don't.
But the problem is people are making character assessments based on people's political views rather than the other way, rather than finding out their character.
Your
And then
political views
I
are
know
the
there's
basis of your values. So that's what I don't. That's where I'm not understanding the disconnect. Like your political views literally from. So for instance, your political views when you talk about family life, when you talk about society, when you talk about I don't know, gender, when you talk about sexuality, like these are all political views. They literally form the basis of they form the basis of what your values and character are. Like your views on race, your views like.
You'd be so surprised. More of us are similar than dissimilar. So
Whether
like
more similar and dissimilar, but these are political issues that form the basis of your actual core values. That's where I'm like, how are you not?
And Labour, majority of people think the same. They just think, okay, this Conservative will get me there quicker. Labour might get me there quicker.
Forget parties. I'm not talking about parties. Like you keep bringing it back to. I don't care. Like I've supported many different parties. Loads of people support different parties. It's more about the political values. So when I say just because I mention the word political doesn't mean I'm tying it to a party. I mean, when I say political, I mean literally in those spheres. So for instance, if you think about gender, sexuality, race, like these are political issues. They're not tied to any single party. Labour are racist. Conservative are racist.
That's the point where I think the rest of us are trying to make. Where politically,
but you're not following what I'm saying. No, but then I'm not saying that one because you support Labour or you support thingy. I'm saying your core values. So regardless of whether you support conservative, there are conservatives that hate Trump because of his view. So the point I'm trying to make to you is being a Trump supporter specifically is a character flaw to me.
You know what I'm talking about, though. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
That's the point. There are conservatives that don't support Trump because he's too extreme for them. Because I can understand that a party doesn't define your actual ideology. Your ideology is what I'm talking about. So
but a lot of people are literally saying, if you're conservative, we're not gonna be friends. Are you conservative?
Okay, that's not the argument that we're having. Obviously, we're talking about political women. That's not the argument we're having. Because it's not about, if you're conservative. Obviously, we know that. We're talking about Trump specifically. Like, this is about Trump.
No,
even the title of the show, the title says Trump or Farage supporter. Like, quite clearly.
Can you sleep with the op?
Jackie, you're very cheeky for sending me a message to say, I hope the community service is better moderated. And this is what you're doing.
That's wild.
Why are you bringing up our personal conversation?
Nah, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. And you're doing it in my face as well.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Talking sneaky behind the scenes.
One mic.
Demi, I don't know what Demi's thoughts are.
And good morning to two new recruits. Who have we got? We've got Fighters Spirit Media. Good morning.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. A quick question, yeah.
I like that.
I keep hearing this. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Brent is very impressed.
Speak more.
I keep hearing this thing about abortion coming up, but whenever we speak about the Roe v. Wade situation, it doesn't sound like people really understand what happened in that scenario. I'm not saying I have the best idea, but what actually happened is it went from federal to state. So people can still decide to have abortions if they want to, and it was never off the table. It's about a matter of the states deciding what happens. It's not about abortion is off the table. Yeah, some people have their views, but it's now for the states to decide. So if the state decides there's no abortion, you're free to go somewhere else to get that done, but it's not a matter of your autonomy being taken away from you. Sorry.
But that's still an issue though, because if you can't afford to go to other states,
I think we're digressing the conversation.
your autonomy has been taken
One
away.
at a time, please.
So if England decides that they're going to stop abortion,
Priority
but it's
goes to
still
the
allowed
people in the studio.
All right.
Who was that was speaking?
You were speaking.
No, but who was it that was speaking?
Oh, it was me. Sorry, can you not hear me?
Go on, Demi.
No, it was Rob.
No, sorry, I was just going to respond to the person's comment. If England decides they're not doing abortion anymore, but it's still available in Ireland, but you're broke and you can't really travel well, like, what does that mean for your?
That's why they speak, because he said my mind.
That wasn't
yeah,
on the
exactly.
table.
The question you said Roe v. Wade basically just made it a state's decision, so therefore you can still do it in states, just if your states decide.
It said it's not for the federal government to decide; it is for the states to decide.
Yeah, but if I live in Texas,
so that's what
that makes a separation. So it's not the hand of big government; it is now what the states should decide. So it was never about your ability to have an abortion is on the line. That was never the case, and that's what I'm saying. So when you
if your state decides that you can't have an abortion, how is that? If your state decides you can't have an abortion, how is that then?
But they're not even doing that. But they're saying it's up to the state to decide. So it's up to you within the state to vote. It is not for the government to have the all-wash deciding factor.
If the state you're living in majority vote for abortion, then what
whether
happens?
you should or shouldn't. It's that you guys are misrepresenting the argument. So we keep repeating this stuff as if that was even on the table.
My man, you're not making sense.
To the point, then you understand.
My man, you're not making sense at all.
Do you see like
No, stop, please. I agree with the caller, but I think he's
like his
not.
voice?
No, not just that. Because I remembered it being misconstrued, right?
Yeah.
But I think now Demi's saying a different thing. Do you understand?
No. So I'm just giving an analogy. I'm just giving an analogy.
But what Demi is saying,
based on what
I was going to lead to that.
what I was
that
going to say,
get
though.
to what I was saying.
Because I get you're saying that the people in the state can now vote or whether or not they want it kept or gone, right? However, though, if the majority in the state vote that you can't have abortions in the state anymore, then whoever lives in that state, then they have been robbed. They no longer have access to that. So they can have an issue with that. Not everybody. Let me finish speaking. Caller with a nice voice.
Sorry, my bad.
If there's people in there that are young, whatever the case might be, whatever the situations can be, who can't afford to go to another state, they will not see it as, well, okay, well, my state just says I can't, but I can do it somewhere else, so it's not as bad. It is still a bad thing
100%.
because they live there. So I get you saying that it's not a thing where, it's just outrightly banned. People get to vote. But again, as we know, as the example in this conversation, there's people with different views. Yeah. And so if now the power is now with that state to vote whether they want that or not, which wasn't the case before, and then the people in that vote say that, okay, yeah, we get rid of this thing. It does affect the people who are who wanted that option.
Yeah.
So they're still affected by that.
I'm seeing that as just democracy in play, though.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes, and that's what Fighter Spirit trying to say, that it's not a Trump thing. If your state says no, then it sounded as though we're saying Trump has abolished the right to have an abortion. That's what it sounded like. But if
the argument doesn't need to be this reductive.
If you are pro-choice, then it's not a Trump issue. You can't not be voting for Trump because you're pro-choice, for example, because Trump is saying he doesn't even care. Just take it to the state, and I think that's what.
But people saying
it clearly shows that it does care, because this is a very simple question, right? Was abortion more accessible before or after this decision was made? That's literally a question you have to answer. And if you're pro,
exactly the same.
No, it's not exactly the same, because if you're living in a state that then decides to ban it, whereas obviously the point of having a federal. No, the point of having a federal mandate is to say that everybody has to follow this one rule. If you have states that vote and decide to ban it, then okay.
People's issue is that they don't want the state to be the one to have. They don't want the state to have to determine that. And if the state has to determine that, and then it's taken away, then they have lost something. And I can see that they have. I don't know. I'm missing something.
If that
I feel
was
like
the
I'm
case,
missing something as well.
That's not reality, is what I'm saying. You're misrepresenting the reality of the scenario. So it was a good thing that happened, so that somebody like Trump couldn't come and just say ban abortions in all the states. That was the success of that. No. It now gives it to the states. So the state.
No, there's less access to abortion for everybody.
I'm saying it stops a tyrant from coming in and being able to make the decision for you, no matter what. It says the states have to decide. And now
before this decision was made, federally, everybody had access to abortion without any specific state decision needing to be made. Now there are some people in some states that have less access after the decision. Therefore, just pure de facto, there are some people that have their abortion rights access reduced. So what you're saying, literally, it doesn't.
How is that success that people get to choose and take something away from people that want it?
No, but then what he's saying is,
no, I understand. I understand. You're making a like a what do you call it? Like a very specific like political argument in sense of saying, okay, cool. But this is the thing. Roe v. Wade has been in place for since like what the 70s or whatever it was, and it's worked fine, and people have had access to abortion. People that didn't want abortion didn't have access to or didn't choose to have it. The point that we're making is you have a pendulum swinging one way or the other. Obviously, this decision has clearly swung it more in the pro-life side of the pendulum.
Yeah.
So what is the debate here? There's no debate.
Do you know the thing is, then
The point I was actually going to make was when we just say stuff as if that's the reality of the matter, how do you expect anybody to make any progress when it's like, well, you have all this vim about hating Trump and hating and like abortion being on the line? It's like none of those things are even on the line.
No, but that is the truth. Just because we haven't literally spelled it out,
even happen.
When people are having like intelligent debates, right? You don't need to spell out every single issue. We can kind of just summarize and we can summarize. For instance, I don't. But it's not about semantics because I'm saying pro-choice or abortion rights have declined because of this decision. Obviously, if we then want to go into the debate of that specific issue, which wasn't what we were debating in the first place. Because we weren't debating that issue in the first place, I didn't feel the need to go into it. Obviously, now that we're in it, we are discussing it and we can talk about it. But we're talking about an issue whether or not you would get married to a Trump supporter or not. I can make the summary that Trump has lessened abortion access or access to abortion rights. That's just the general summary. We can move on.
But if you're incorrect and you're misrepresenting the reality, then what you're doing is a misservice.
So how am I incorrect? Explain how I'm incorrect.
So far has actually come up with the real hard facts. You have said stuff.
So explain how I'm incorrect.
Which is cool. I'm obviously
explain how Trump has made abortion access more.
But Demi,
excuse me, Jackie. Demi and Fighters Spirit Media are going back and forth.
Is that his name?
That's sorry. Actually, my name's FSM,
bro.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, can I just ask then? Can you explain, right, just simply to me, how Trump has made abortion rights more accessible to people across the country?
Well, my point wasn't about whether it was made less or more. My point was that you're misrepresenting the Roe v. Wade situation. The
only thing I said on Roe v. Wade was I said Roe v. Wade as a decision was more pro-choice. That's literally the sentence I said. You can rewatch. I didn't say anything more about that. That's the only sentence I said.
To be fair, I wasn't talking about when you brought that up, and my major point was about when you just so flippantly make statements as if the reality of the matter. Again,
which statement exactly did I flippantly make?
When I literally was just saying I was not referring to you. The person before you, just before you spoke, brought up the abortion case, and I said, well, if you bring it up as if it was on the line to be taken away when it wasn't, then you're doing a misservice. That's what I was saying. When you now entered the conversation, I'm now combating you because you've done the same thing, trying to back up that point when I'm saying these things weren't on the line in the first place. So no abortion was ever going to be taken away, and you're only in the negative when the success of that decision was now a tyrant like Trump or Biden, whoever you agree with or disagree with, cannot come and take that away from you.
Okay, can I ask you a question, Fighter Spirit? So basically, yeah. So if let's just use a different analogy. So imagine, yeah, Civil Rights Act, the ability for Black people not to be discriminated against and no segregation is a federal issue, and basically you're not allowed to do it in any state. If a president came in and said, I'm going to change this and make it up to the states, would you say that is more in favor of Black people having more rights or reducing Black people's rights? What would your mind think to that decision?
Well, it would depend on the specifics. That sounds like.
Nah, come on,
what's specific, man?
Let him explain, man.
Exactly. He's quiet. When Demi was getting interrupted the whole time, you guys didn't say, let me explain.
No, he was getting interrupted.
I thought it's waffling, man. You're right.
Be serious, man. About civil rights, you would all say, obviously, that's racist and that's pushing Black people back. Let's not be silly and move on.
So is this like saying the same argument? Because this is besides my point.
It's the exact same argument. I've just replaced abortion
civil rights, man.
with civil rights. So answer that one.
You keep going around in circles. Civil rights and civil rights. It's a simple debate, man.
Give him a chance.
Why go around in circles?
It's literally the same question. I've just replaced the question now with segregation. Leave it up to the states. is that good for black people or bad for black people? All he's doing is just saying
Depends
now
on how
the
the
states
state
can
votes.
do it.
Well,
Exactly.
Oh,
it depends on
perfect.
how the state votes.
Fantastic.
It depends on how the state votes.
Oh, come on,
That's
man.
bullshit, man. And everyone can now see plainly the line of reason.
Wow.
That's there, so
Good morning, Toyin. Good
How is
morning,
that an
MTK.
unreasonable
Good
thing
morning,
to say?
Kofi.
Good morning,
Morning,
everyone.
morning.
I'm
I
Toyin.
came in
What are your
super late,
thoughts?
so I don't even know where this conversation stemmed from. What I wanted to clarify a little bit was the Roe v. Wade conversation. Is it FSM that was speaking about how it was taken from federal, state level? Totally understand that. And the conversation around it and how it was Trump taking, like, I understand if someone can be looking at it from that perspective, but there's a reality of the situation of taking it from federal to state level as well. And one is the right to privacy, and knowing that a lot of these major states are red states that are pro-life in a sense, and take away the rights from women to do that. The reality of the situation is, for me, someone who lives in Texas, abortion, while it's a choice in many situations, and if someone gets pregnant and doesn't want to keep the child, that's one instance. However, there are several instances where there are medical needs for abortions, and that's where this becomes a little bit techie. If I'm in the hospital and I have a medical condition and I need to get an abortion, and I'm in Texas and my doctor is now needing to go to several judges and all these hoops just to decide if I can or cannot get an abortion. Unfortunately, where it's a situation of life and death, it shouldn't be a decision for me to have to fly to another state to get the medical attention that I need. And this is where the reality comes into play. There's other things as far as like the privacy issues and certain things like that, but that's the reality of the situation. When Roe v. Wade was passed, can't remember the year, where it was made a federal decision in law, it was a blanket. It was a blanket. I'm losing my words here. Sorry, I literally just woke up. But it was a blanket decision across all states. This is how we're going to handle it. This is the privacy, and this is that. When it comes to different states choosing how they're going to handle certain situations, it doesn't create a blanketed or attention to the abortion issue for women. Now, there's the choice part where,
and I don't
I'm so
disagree.
sorry, go ahead.
Just to go back to what you're saying, because I think what my initial response was is being missed. When you misrepresent things and then you ask us a question like, "Would you date a Trump supporter?" It's like
No
you
one
can't even
misrepresented anything.
I want
to ideas in your head, not you, the person I'm replying to. I'm just trying to get you to understand why I was originally making that point. Is because if you're going to ask a question like, "Would you date a Trump supporter?" If you can't tell me what one actually is and you have these fictional ideas, then it's a dumb question. Because if you're going to then turn me around and expect me to be charitable to your position and say, "Would you let me to date someone like you?" when I'm going to then straw man your whole argument and your whole idea and your whole just everything about you, like, it's a dumb question to ask.
I'm still waiting to hear what was
coming from a genuine
misrepresented
place.
before coming to. I'm still waiting to hear what was misrepresented exactly, because I don't know if I've heard that.
I think we all listen to the channel. There's bare people in here
What
agree with Trump and
you
like
just
Trump,
point to one
and then
thing,
there's
because
other
you
people here
started off with the
that
abortion
you're not
thing, and
coming
we've
with these
clearly
super
showed you that it
concrete
wasn't
arguments. It's just
misrepresented.
feeling stuff.
No, but what is it that was misrepresented? Let's talk about it. I don't
General,
know.
a lot of the arguments that come, I'm talking about very generally. Just think about it as wide as possible when I listen to this show, innit?
No, but what is it that we've misrepresented? Like when we've been talking about
many things. That abortion argument was the first one, and I happened to be correct
we
on
explained
that.
to you that we didn't go into
Whether
the full
or not
detail of
abortion
it
is
because
a
it wasn't
good or
an
bad
abortion.
thing,
One at a time, guys. One at a
the
time,
point
man.
is,
okay.
whether
Sorry, go ahead.
is good or not is not the argument. The argument is that you use so flippantly when the abortion thing came up, it misrepresents what actually happened when it talks as if it was on the line for it to be taken away when it wasn't.
Okay,
That's if you're gonna do something like that and then ask me, would you date a Trump supporter, assuming that Trump supporters want abortion to be off the table when that's not even necessarily what they agree on, then you're asking a silly question. Because now I have to respond to the straw man in your head. That's all I'm saying.
Cool. So in terms of misrepresenting, I think we're clarifying that we haven't misrepresented. So we said Trump is obviously pro-life, and he's campaigned on that. That's quite clear, and he's also made decisions, for instance, to reduce access to abortion. Obviously, we didn't go into the detail of that when we were talking about should you date a Trump supporter or not. We just came to the general conclusion, because obviously, when you're debating about a different topic, you will typically just say conclusions about other arguments rather than like breaking down each argument. If that's a misrepresentation, I don't think you can't really have a like constructive debate in that way, where you have to explain every issue like the person you're speaking to is not, doesn't understand like basic things. Obviously now we're discussing abortion, so we can break it down and go into each issue. But generally, I don't think it's a misrepresentation to say that Trump is pro-life and supports cutting back abortion rights. Whether or not his actions directly do exactly that, and if it's like, for instance, Trump's decision leads to less abortion rights overall, that's obviously a reality. And we just heard someone from America explain to you how that happened. So I still don't understand the misrepresentation.
Because there was none.
It wasn't Trump that did it. So the point he's trying to say is, if I wanted to marry someone based on their pro-life or pro-choice view, it wouldn't be based on what Trump has done, because Trump isn't the person who's the laws in Texas. He's just given people the right to have a vote.
But do you understand that things have, obviously he's putting things in place, like, and this is why I feel like the argument is so disingenuous. Trump specifically appointed certain Supreme Court judges to specifically do certain things. Like, everyone knows this is how politics work.
Not everyone knows, though.
But he ran on this platform. Like, how can we say that he didn't run on a platform of being pro-life? Like, are we serious right now?
No one's saying that. But it's not
so
up to him.
What is being misrepresented? Trump is pro-life, and I've just said that.
Disagreeing with you that he's pro-life. No one's even doing that. We're saying that it was never on the table, and I think it may have been Jackie. I could be wrong. That brought up the abortion thing as if, and I'm just trying to hone in, because again, you're saying, oh well, we can't go in on each argument. That's the first thing I came was with the abortion. It was never on the table. So now when you bring up Trump and his impact, it's not even up to him anymore.
So if a president has campaigned on being pro-life and then basically passed a law that says we will remove the federal abortion protection for everybody, meaning that some people in some states may have reduction of like, how is, but you.
Demi, can I ask you a question?
This whole debate was about values, right? And his value is that, surely, and he's putting things in place to make that value a reality. So I don't get what the argument is.
But Demi, you know the thing is, I feel like both of you,
yeah. Harder for him to make the choice. How are you missing that?
Both of you, yeah, are basically, I think, talking about different things, innit? Like, what's that brother's name? Freedom.
FSM.
So,
all right, so he's
Joshua,
basically
sorry.
Joshua. All right, Joshua, yeah. Demi, like, you're obviously saying Trump is pro-life, whatever, yeah. But he's saying, how can you
I
really
understand what
say?
you're saying, man.
Yeah, but why? Why is the
when we had this conversation about being with a Trump supporter and whatever we said, I said, and I remember Demi saying the same thing, that it's not even, sometimes it's not even so much about, it's not all about the politics. It's not all about his policies.
Yeah.
It's also about the character. It's also about what he presents. So if I am somebody who is pro-choice, why would I want to be with somebody who is pro-life? So do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, so all these, like, these are part of the things that part of the reasons why it is that somebody like me who wouldn't want to be with a Trump supporter. But okay, Trump did not directly do anything with that law, whatever the case was. But he is pro-life though. Yeah. So if someone who is a Trump supporter approached me and he's pro-life, Trump is pro-life. You see why we say that it's not just about the politics.
Yeah.
It's also about the character. It's also about the values. It's also about the morals. It's these things as well. They play a part. You see,
do you know, I think it's just one of the small details, isn't it? Because I think Joshua is basically saying, like, obviously Trump is pro-life. I don't think anyone's debating that, because even Trump is clear in saying he's pro-life, isn't it? Okay. But I think he's basically saying, how do you say Trump is pro-life or against abortions if he's given the right to his state to make that decision, and they can still choose to be that?
But the issue is, the reason why people didn't.
Let's just sit on the analogy that I gave a second ago. So the same analogy about racial issues when it comes to segregation. For instance, when I said about segregation, and we say, right now, it's a federally protected issue where no states can choose to segregate or not. If a president came in and said, let's leave it up to states, I'm not making a decision, I'm not racist, I don't care, just leave it up to states. Would you in your mind as a black person not think, hold on a minute, this is clearly trying to revoke some of our rights in some states. Now, it's still not him making the decision actively and saying, oh, yes, in Texas, you're going to segregate. In Alabama, you're not going to. But obviously, we can use our common sense and just take just a tiny leap.
Exactly.
And that's the point. That's all the point.
That's the point he's making.
Let's not be silly.
It's because you guys are talking about two different points, though.
No,
you know what I mean?
but
it's the same principle.
It's not about. Don't take the point. Don't take the example literally. However, it's the same thing though, because you're saying, okay, Trump is pro-life, but he said that, you know what, I'm going to let the state decide. That's fair. And then you got somebody else who says, oh yeah, I'm not racist, or but I'm gonna let states decide about black people's rights. Like, it's the same thing. I don't understand how this is being missed.
All right.
But even it is, that's fine. Let's just
thank
say
Demi, MTK, can you have your say? And who else is there? Kofi? You still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, have your say, and then we have to move on.
All right.
No, I mean, sorry, you can go ahead.
All right, let me quickly go. So going back to the topic in hand, whether you can date a Trump supporter or a Farage supporter, like in general, I think you can date, if you're like a Labour guy and you date someone who's conservative, I don't think that's an issue, personally. Because when it comes to policies, they don't have to differ extremely. But I think when it comes to a Trump supporter, I tend to look at the character of the person as well. So it's not like, if you're a George Bush Jr. supporter, yes, he might have different policies, but the character of the person isn't like a particularly bad person. But with Trump and his character and his what he represents, I would have to look at you a little bit sideways. For example, Trump is a guy that will be bestowing family values. I'm a family person, this, that, and third. Yet this is a man that slept with a porn star when his wife was pregnant. So I just look at that person and say, this man's a hypocrite. He doesn't actually believe what he's saying, and he's a bit of a charlatan. And if you support that type of person, then I'm going to look at you sideways. And similar to Farage, where he's, again, a bit of a charlatan, I don't really think he truly wants to push his party. I just think he wants to be a face of the party without actually providing any real policies. So I think there's a difference between dating someone who's a conservative and then dating someone who's a Trump supporter. And that's my 2 pence on that.
And MTK?
I mean, just to summarize, I mean, I think Demi was onto it really, and Esther as well, which is, I mean, I guess to me, what I'm hearing is that like different people think that the situations are either peak or not that peak. They take it to different levels of like how deep that they think it is. So in the context of the abortion, I think like, if you're in Texas and like, it's a situation, you're a young woman who you need to get an abortion, it's an emergency situation, and you're like rushed to hospital, and now you have like doctors who are erring on the side of not being keen to give you that procedure, because it is down to the doctor to analyze like what constitutes like an emergency in that situation, like whether it's live or die situation or whatever, and because they're liable for giving you an abortion if it's not necessarily that you needed one. Like if that situation, if you don't see it as like it's that deep, like, but the state can just decide whether they're up for making that a situation that's a real thing. If it's not that deep to you, then I can see it that you're like, oh, it's fine, it's down to the state, like they can choose for that to happen. If you really feel like it's a deep thing, then and you're pro-choice, then like you're gonna have another take on that. And I think if I'm asking myself that question as someone like, would I want to date somebody who voted for Trump, for example? They could have great character. Do you know what I mean? They could be polite to the waitress at dinner. Do you know what I mean? They could do all sorts of bits, but like, if fundamentally like they have that perspective where it's like for them it's not that deep, a situation like that is fundamentally not that deep. I just don't see what's difficult about understanding that you're clearly not aligned. So that's that.
Thank you. Final words, Joshua, sorry.
Sorry, thank you. That's sort of an example of what I'm talking about, though, because like you're basically saying, if I'm pro-life, I believe this, and your representation of what that idea is, what the reality is. When it's like I don't even believe that. You're telling me that it's not deep because I'm not pro-choice. You're telling me that it's not deep. I think it's not deep because it's a state's choice. What I was trying to do.
No, but you've outlined that it's a state choice. You've outlined that it's a state choice.
MTK.
Yeah, and it creates that situation.
MTK, you have to let him finish.
Go on, Joshua.
I'm not, again, because the states have to decide, that doesn't mean that I don't think it's deep. It means that I can appreciate the fact that my vote matters rather than some sort of head of state coming and saying a blanket decision. It doesn't matter about my vote anymore. It matters about my political stance. That's why that decision was important, innit? I don't think abortion is a good thing. Again, if there's certain scenarios, great. We all agree that anyway. But my point is, when we talk about Trump supporters, when we talk about conservatives, you lot talk as if they believe these things that you think they believe. When if you actually spoke to them, they would say, that's not what I believe. I actually don't think that. You're representing me that way. And the reason why we don't have an actual dialogue is because you've demonized these people to the point that you can say, I wouldn't even date them because I can assume what they believe. And if they spoke to you, they'll be like, I don't even believe that. That is ridiculous. That's all.
Well, you just said you're pro-life.
Hold on.
You proved this point.
Because it's murder, boss man. That doesn't mean I don't think
it's not murder, man. Relax, man. It's not murder. Chill.
It's not
murder.
Sorry, can I just quickly make a point?
Demi, before you go, before you go, quick that. But don't you see, like, for you to frame it that way, like, again, I actually don't think that, like, if you're a Trump supporter, you're fundamentally just like out and out like a bad person. Some people, they can just plead ignorance. You know what I mean? They like the guy, he's charismatic, all the rest of it. Like, I don't think that fundamentally you're a bad person. I don't think, there's probably lots of probably good people in the communities and good fathers and all the rest of it, and friends and all the rest of it. Yeah, but like for me, the situation of certain aspects, certain policies, the consequences are that deep. That's just fundamentally it. So like, we're just not going to part. I'm trying to say. So if I'm talking to you on something that's deep to me, and you're not here for it, whether because you plead ignorance or you have a different perspective, then that's just it. It's just that's just what it comes to. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's, it's like, childish. All right, cool, safe.
I don't align with you in the same position, so therefore it's not that deep to me. That's not the trick. That's mad child. That's not the case. I could agree with you about it as much. That's why you lot. Just to let you know, I'm mixed race, innit? Just don't
come
on. Don't lock me off.
Big up Joshua, man.
But yeah, if there were two black people that don't have the same outcome in terms of what they think on an issue, it would be a disservice to the other person to say, well, it's not that deep to you then, is it? Like, that's mad child. That's just a way to be like, cool, well, you're an idiot, you stay over there. That's just not dealing with the issue though, because that's not how I feel. I don't think anybody who's a conservative who would see somebody who, if they didn't have that abortion, would die, would say, nah. Listen, birth that. I don't really. That's not the reality that we live in.
But that's not what we're. That's not what we're.
What you're doing is a blanket thing of saying these people. I wouldn't date them because they're that bad. That's crazy.
It's not that they're that bad. It's that we don't agree. We don't align with their values.
Yeah, it's just saying that people don't. Like, for instance, I'm not saying. For instance,
you're witch.
I wouldn't date somebody that I don't know doesn't support certain things that I support. It doesn't mean that I think
they're
their
bad
view
person.
is like evil or whatever. But I just don't align with those. For instance, if somebody was to say racism doesn't exist or whatever, they might not even be a bad person, they might just be misled or ignorant, but I just wouldn't align with that person. I wouldn't really want to date such a person. They might just be like ignorant, but doesn't make them a bad person, for example. It's just, we're not aligned.
I think Trump supporters believe that people think they're bad people because of the way press talks and all that kind of stuff. And so when you're hearing people say to you, like, we brought up character, we brought up values, we brought up morals, we brought up all these words that just continues to get ignored because in your mind, someone just wouldn't date you because they think that you're a bad person. It's not about what you are as a character. It's that the things that you align with, I don't like. We don't align. I don't align with those things, and I will only know what you align. Let me finish. Hey, buddy. I will only know what you align with when it is that we have a conversation. But if anyone says to me, I like Trump, I don't know, or I'm a Trump supporter, I don't know what you could possibly align with that would be enough for me to overlook all the other 20 things that Trump supports that I don't support, that I'll be like, okay, well, that's fine. You can make a good partner. But again, not everybody thinks like this. There are people who would date Trump supporters. There are people who don't care about these things. It's not me, Demi, and anybody else. I can't remember. I start getting confused with all the names everyone's talking. But anyone who thinks the way we do, we're not like... There's other people who are okay. There's other people who are more open to dating Trump supporters, to dating Nazis. Kanye West has a whole wife. It's okay.
Nazis, Trump supporters.
You're fine like that.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Black Rob. Thank you, Demi. Thank you, Joshua. That was a great first debut. Debut. Thank you, Kofi. Thank you, Toyin. Thank you, MTK. We have to move on.
Yes.
I love when it is that they come up.
I've got a clip
the
though.
table, man.
You got another clip. Are you not learning?
It's just a quick one.
Wait.
It sums up this whole thing perfectly.
It doesn't. I bet he's going to piss me off.
I've got clip two.
You got a clip too?
Completely
unrelated. Okay, let me look for a clip to bring to Please. Okay, go on. Play E-Man's first, then play yours.
I don't know where it is. Where is it?
It's in the doc.
All right. Before I click
it's
this...
called extremism.
Oh, can I tell you?
But you say it's in the doc and talk of the day, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Got it. Let's see what.
And maybe we all fall victim to this. You know what I mean? This might go into Joshua's point a little, but
nothing goes into Joshua's point.
Oh, come on.
Recently, a nastier, harsher atmosphere everywhere, more abuse and bother boy behaviour, less friendliness and tolerance and respect for opponents. All right, but what we never hear about extremism is its advantages. Well, the biggest advantage of extremism is that it makes you feel good because it provides you with enemies. Let me explain. The great thing about having enemies is that you can pretend that all the badness in the whole world is in your enemies and all the goodness in the whole world is in you. Attractive, isn't it? So, if you have a lot of anger and resentment in you anyway, and you therefore enjoy abusing people, then you can pretend that you're only doing it because these enemies of yours are such very bad persons. And that if it wasn't for them, you'd actually be good-natured and courteous and rational all the time. So, if you want to feel good, become an extremist. Okay, now you have a choice. If you join the hard left, they'll give you their list of authorized enemies. Almost all kinds of authority, especially the police, the city, Americans, judges, multinational corporations, public schools, furriers, newspaper owners, fox hunters, generals, class traitors, and, of course, moderates. Or, if you'd rather be an extremist on the hard right, no problem, fine, you still get a lovely list of enemies, only they're different ones. Noisy minority groups, unions, Russia, weirdos, demonstrators, welfare sponges, meddlesome clergy, peaceniks, the BBC, strikers, social workers, communists, and, of course, moderates. And upstart actors. Now, once you're armed with one of these super lists of enemies, you can be as nasty as you like and yet feel your behaviors morally justified. So you can strut around abusing people and telling them you could eat them for breakfast and still think of yourself as a champion of the truth, a fighter for the greater good, and not the rather sad paranoid schizoid that you really are. Seriously, though, we've heard a lot...
That's so ironic.
Songs a little bit blacky, man. All right, cool. I have a clip, but
I hope you're just lying the
completely. You know me. Well,
because if I know you, I don't think you're gonna do what I wanted to do.
I was tagged on X. This is something I gotta share. Dun, dun, dun, dun, dun. Here we go.
I have a feeling I know what this is.
Yep. This person says, leave Prince alone.
Is that Prince's cheeks?
Leave Prince alone. Yeah, he was homophobic, but it was all internalized. Yeah? That's the first
Them
one.
cheeks are sitting double cheeked up on a Tuesday afternoon.
little callback. There's one more. A little follow up.
So listen,
Prince was doing his Bulgarian split squats. He said Prince was one of the straightest men you ever met.
You said that Prince? You mean man?
Yes.
6 o'clock right there.
Who's that?
No, this is different. This is different.
Oh,
This is.
He chose that choreography. Oh my gosh. I don't. Emmanuel, respond.
I wish I saw Prince live. He looks lit.
First ever do it.
Prince was the Magic Mike before Magic Mike came to be.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. All right, cool. Before we move on into the last headlines, and I want you to do all of them, please, Emmanuel.
Cool.
I don't actually believe that all Trump supporters look the same and think the same.
At all.
So I can't just group all of them in one particular basket.
Are you reading something? Is this your thought?
No, this is my thoughts.
Oh.
Yeah. And I can't group all of the Biden supporters or Kamala supporters or Farage supporters because of the thing I said initially was I think that a lot of black men are dishonest when I ask them why they support Trump. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's do the rest of the headlines. Please, we got to go. I've made it about myself there.
All right, people. Russia has been accused of making hollow statements about peace after launching a missile strike that wounded dozens of people, including children, as it held talks with the US on a proposed ceasefire at sea in the war in Ukraine. Russian and US officials met in Saudi Arabia on Monday with the Ukrainian and American delegations due to gather in Riyadh on Tuesday. Today, a White House source said that the talks have been going extremely well and a positive announcement is expected soon. The talks were expected to cover energy infrastructure and a potential pause in attacks in the Black Sea to ensure the safety of commercial shipping. In an exchange with reporters at the White House, Donald Trump said territorial lines and the potential for US ownership of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in southern Ukraine have been part of the talks. Next headline, trigger warning on this one. More than 1,000 people have been detained in Turkey after 5 nights of demonstrations against the arrest of the Turkish president's main rival. Ekrem İmamoğlu, who's the mayor of Istanbul, was detained over corruption charges on Wednesday. He was formally arrested and jailed pending trial on Sunday, galvanizing the 5th night of protests, which saw hundreds of thousands of people fill Istanbul's streets, where police used pepper spray and fired rubber bullets into the crowd. Turkey's interior minister has now said that 1,133 people were detained between the 19th of March and the 23rd of March in a post on X. Next headline, an American reporter was accidentally included in a group chat in which senior officials in Donald Trump's government discussed conducting airstrikes on Yemen's Iran-backed Houthis earlier this month. Jeffrey Goldberg, who's the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic magazine, was added to a group which included the US Vice President J.D. Vance, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, and the Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard. In an article titled "The Trump Administration Accidentally Texted Me, It's War Plans," Mr. Goldberg revealed that he knew 2 hours before the first bombs exploded that the attack might be coming. He said that he had received a connection request on the encrypted messaging service Signal by Mr. Waltz on the 11th of March and was invited to join the Houthi PC small group, that's the name of the group, 2 days later. When Mr. Goldberg initially received a connection request from Mr. Waltz, he was skeptical and initially thought someone could be masquerading as Mr. Waltz in order to somehow entrap him. A spokesperson for the National Security Council said at this time, the message thread that was reported appears to be authentic, and we are reviewing how an inadvertent number was added to the chain. Responding to the report, Mr. Trump said, "I know nothing about it. I called The Atlantic not much of a magazine." He also added, "I don't know anything about it. You're telling me about it for the first time." Next headline, trigger warning on this one as well, people. Domestic abusers are driving their victims to suicide. This is what police have warned as they admitted to past mistakes and pledged to investigate more hidden cases of violence against women. The concession came as a new report revealed that deaths by suicide amongst victims of domestic abuse surpassed the number of people killed by an intimate partner for a second year in a row. The 1,012 domestic abuse-related deaths recorded in the past 4 years were described as a grim milestone by Louisa Rolfe, who's the National Police Chiefs Council, and was led. She's the lead for domestic abuse. She said it showed how deeply ingrained violence against women and girls is in our communities. Next headline, and the UK appears to be a step closer to an outright ban on ticket touts ripping off fans after the competition watchdog threw its weight behind government plans to cap ticket resale prices. In a blow to websites such as Viagogo and StubHub, which make hundreds of millions a year lawfully by selling access to popular gigs and shows, the CMA, the Competition and Markets Authority, said for the first time that it would back a ceiling on secondary ticket prices. The move would all but outlaw the resale of music and theatre tickets, which is not illegal, although some touts have been jailed for using fraudulent methods as part of their business practices. A price cap on up to 10% above face value was amongst Labour's 2024 election manifesto pledges, as it responded to public anger about professional touts and resale platforms charging huge markups to see acts such as Ed Sheeran and Oasis. The policy posed a threat to touts that dozens of the UK's most prolific resellers held a secret meeting aimed at lobbying to stop it. Hear that, people? However, the CMA's full-throated support could now play a pivotal role in whether the Department for Culture, Media and Sport makes good on the policy. Now, last headline. Potential trigger warning here. Researchers are developing an injection that creates a contraceptive implant in the body using an approach that could herald a new way of delivering drugs over long periods of time. Current contraceptive implants last for years, meaning women do not have to take a pill every day, but the devices must be fitted by a trained professional via a small surgical procedure. Contraceptive injections are already available, but they have limitations, including that they last for only 3 months. Now, scientists say that they have completed proof-of-concept experiments for a new type of long-lasting implant that self-assembles in the body. Whilst not yet tested in humans, the researchers behind the work say that the approach could bring benefits beyond the field of birth control, offering a simple way to administer long-acting drug delivery systems without the need for invasive procedures, an appealing prospect for parts of the world with poor medical infrastructure. And that's it for the headlines. Time to pay them bills.
All right, let's wrap this up.
All right, before we wrap it up, can we hear your update on Dr. Umar, Emmanuel?
Oh, yes.
Basically, what it is that obviously there's continual back and forth, basically, right? But Dr. Umar made a video maybe a couple of days ago saying that on the 29th, I think it was the 29th anyway, but near the end of the month anyway, of this month, March, he's going to expose what his second baby mother's been doing, basically. So the first one he calls Mama Smurf. The second one he calls Miss Vegan, right? Just so that you guys know the differentiation, right? So the woman, the young woman, his daughter, who's been talking, she's Baby Smurf. So she's the daughter of Mama Smurf.
Oh, the
firstborn, yeah. She's 22, I believe.
Oh, so he's having drama with the second one?
Yeah, you don't see, allegedly he doesn't see both of them, innit?
Why'd you have to say allegedly for that?
Just in case I'm wrong, innit? Just in case I'm wrong. But the second one is maybe, I could be wrong here, it could be like 10 years younger, I think. But yeah, that's the situation. In it. So he's basically saying she's doing a similar thing. But he kept saying, I do respect you. So I think he has a different relationship with the second one.
The vegan.
With the vegan, yeah. But he still feels some type of way. And he's saying, listen, let me have access to my child. Otherwise, on this particular date, I am exposing.
Which child called him out though?
That's the firstborn. The second one's young.
So why second? Why we didn't? So he's then come out to expose second one without being exposed.
I think the reason was.
So he's the exposer in this situation.
To be fair, yeah.
Because the first one was the one who was saying how blah blah blah, and he was saying to her to let your mum tell you the truth, right?
Yeah, but he was upset about something. If I'm not wrong, what he was saying is he didn't like how one of the mothers, I think it's the second one, asked the first one, whether she was still seeing Dr. Umar. So he was like, "Why are you minding my business?"
Asking the woman or asking the child?
No, asking the woman. So he's basically saying they were in communication.
Oh,
so he don't like that. I'm not with you for years now, and you're still minding my business.
But it's funny though, because was he seeing? Fair.
That's basically what his one of his gripes are, I believe. But yeah, he's basically saying by this particular day he will expose.
We should get all of them.
Give me an opportunity to see my child.
I can't believe he's got this much drama going on. He was going to charge us what he was going to charge us for. And I would have been in here asking about how the school's going when I should be asking about Word on Road. It's crazy. Money well not spent.
So that's the situation. And to pile on top of that was that person I was telling you about, some TikToker who basically, she just wanted the clout chase and add some stuff. But she was basically saying she basically jumped into Dr. Umar's DMs, but yeah. And basically they were just talking about tech and stuff, innit? But obviously she's one of the black queens that he may find attractive in it. I don't know, but that might be his type in it. But anyway, they've agreed to go to dinner together, or lunch, I should say. One of the two happened during the day. Well, I don't even know. But they sat down to eat, right? So they've met up, yeah. And she's basically saying, well, this is from her story after the fact. She's basically saying, yeah, I was just interested in his approach to, you know, like black creatives and things like that. I just wanted to pick his mind, sort of thing. I like what he's been doing. He's been amazing, etc., etc. But she said she was kind of disappointed because it's like how enthusiastic and enchanting he can be online. He wasn't that. It was almost like he just wasn't there to be really
He's got baby
engaging.
mama dramas. He's got vegan and Mr. Smith fighting him.
No, to be fair, this was years back. So because of all of this is why she's talking.
Oh, girl.
So she's basically saying, she then asked him questions about, you know, his life and things of that nature, innit? And that's when she found out he's got 2 kids and all this. So he was openly saying it, saying he doesn't see the kids, but they're there, etc., etc. So now that all of this is happening, she's come out to say that was like 2 years ago. The girl, the youngest one, she says was about 7. So yeah, so the youngest one's about 9, 10 now, right? And he basically, she then wraps up the conversation by saying he's extremely flirtatious. So she wanted to get that in.
Well, I guess if you're trying to get funding for a school, you gotta get it somehow.
and she was basically saying some of the catchphrases he says. Oh.
What catchphrases? When he just repeats words, that's a catchphrase. That's a technique.
No, so stuff like
pissing me off technique.
You know when he says 5'5" thick in the thighs.
What?
Yeah, he says that. That's his type. 5'5" thick in the thighs.
What's a 5'5" thick in the thighs?
5'5" height, thick in the thighs.
He said
that's the quota.
Business before back shots.
Business before back shots.
What?
Business before back shots.
I've never listened to him long enough to know he says his foolishness.
He says a lot of stuff.
He says a lot of stupidity. That's crazy. 5'5" with thick thighs. Yeah. I like that actually.
5'5" thick in the thighs.
Thicker than thighs.
Thick in the thighs.
I like that. It's got a little ring to it.
Think of dog too, man.
5'5". Thick in thighs.
So she was basically saying, when they were saying
sorry, business before back shots is wild when you got 2 separate baby mums.
No, but he's saying to himself, I'm going to stay away.
But now he's adopted business before back shots.
And he said that right after they hugged. Business before back shots.
That's what she was saying.
So he had to say, whoo, control yourself.
Yeah.
That's crazy scene.
Like, business before back shots, bitch. Business before back shots. Business before back shots.
Mantra.
There you go. And yeah, that's basically the gist of the story, man. So we'll see what happens at the end of the month.
To be continued.
Yeah, to be continued. I wanted to talk about Word and Red. There's interesting things in there. But if you wanted to talk about Trump's hypothetical Trump supporter situation. So we'll talk about it on Thursday.
All right, then. Wrap it.
Business before back shots.
Yes, indeed. All right, people.
Yes, indeed.
Let's stay focused. So, today's been a great show, man. We spoke about the 2 women who spied for Russia, apparently being tracked down and named and shamed by the BBC. And we also spoke about the government saying, well, Keir Starmer saying the government needs to be more efficient. And we also spoke about the 90 airlines who are represented by a particular body who are threatening Heathrow with legal action. For topic of the day, we spoke about sleeping with the ops, man. Can you date a Trump or Farage supporter? Somebody with opposing views to you? Can you procreate with them? Can you have a family with them? And it was a very heated, nice...
long.
Yeah, debate, man. It was a good one. We also spoke about Russia being accused of hollow peace talks as strikes injure dozens of children in Ukraine. We also spoke about the more than 1,000 people who have been detained in Turkey because of the 5 nights of demonstrations against the arrest of the President Erdogan's main rival. And we spoke about the US plan to bomb Yemen's Houthis. Apparently, this was shared in a particular group, and one American reporter was somehow found himself in there. You know what I'm saying? We also spoke about domestic abusers driving more victims to suicide. This is what the police is warning. And we also spoke about the UK watchdog planning to back the idea that there needs to be a cap on the resale of tickets. You know what I mean? And yeah, we spoke about scientists developing an injection for long-lasting contraceptive implants. And that's pretty much been it, man. It's been an amazing show. Like the video, people, man.
Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. All that great stuff. Follow us on Discord the day after TNB. Am I right in that Gin and just put something in there?
Yes, giveaway.
Yes, a giveaway.
A book giveaway.
So check that out in there. Big up Jen and Just every single time.
Yep.
What else is there to do? Follow us on socials, The Day After TNB, Instagram, X, TikTok, Discord, of course.
All of
All of that stuff. But yeah, thank you everybody that called in today and had a conversation with us. We do appreciate you guys always. And yeah,
community service tomorrow.
There is a community service tomorrow, so tune in tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. That is 7 p.m. UK time.
It's going to be a good one, people.
It's going to be a good one. We're going to talk about the show.
I want as many people in the Discord because I want to hear as many
opinions.
Summaries.
Man.
I want to hear where everybody's coming from. What stood out to you? Why you think certain things were shown?
Do you think that they should have used like a Muslim or black kid instead?
All of these things.
all of those takes. All right. The floor is open tomorrow night. But yeah, see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Peace.